currents still very much a concern. Obviously, skies still gray, but we could be seeing some clearing shortly. And again, welcome you into a special edition of AMHQ. I'm Maria LaRosa. Sam, you're in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Good morning to you.
And good morning to you, Maria. Yeah, we're covering this storm from every angle. I'm standing here live on the beach in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. A little bit to my south is Jim Cantori, who's somewhere near Rodanthe at last time I saw. And then we've got, of course, got live shots to the north, team coverage. We've got folks inside the house in Atlanta to give you all the information you need as well to get you started. From our hurricane experts tracking the path this morning for Arthur, our storm chasers, meteorologists, and reporters are live in the field assessing the impact. And, of course, Anna Rodriguez will be in our broadcast headquarters in Atlanta, giving you all the news updates on Arthur's impacts as well. But let's get to the graphics and show you where this hurricane is right now. At last count, still a Category 2 hurricane, even as it made its impact and made landfall on the shore of the east coast of North Carolina, and then exited again. It still maintained its strength. Take a look at the latest radar, and you'll be able to see how those bands are still wrapping around tightly as Arthur pulls away. This is the latest information that we have it. As we said, Category 2 hurricane, 100-mile-per-hour winds there. Soon, we'll be able to watch these last bands of rain pulling off the shoreline. We've definitely gotten into a drier pattern standing here on Kill Devil Hills. You can see there's a lot less rain. However, the wind is still whipping up. As we go through this 3-hour broadcast, you'll see the conditions improving here, and then we'll turn our eyes with this storm north as it continues to travel north. Overnight, Jim Cantori in an area that got water from both sides. Jim, when I saw you overnight, you had water coming from the Atlantic, and then you had water coming from the Sound. Good morning, Jim.
Hey, good morning, Sam. Yeah, it was the Sound flooding, though. That's the worst. I'm actually standing on the middle line right now. I can see it. It's about a foot down from me here on Highway 12. The good news is it was up here. All right, so we've really retreated in terms of the water, but as far as I can see to the south, as far as I can see to the north, Highway 12 still underwater here, guys. And there's a lot of debris. As a matter of fact, some of these boulders, just like you see right here, are laying out in the middle of the road. So they're gonna have to come through here, probably with a payloader or a bucket loader of some sort, and actually move this stuff out of the way. But you can see all the debris just kind of laying on the ground. We've had some roof damage. Winds were close to 90 miles per hour at the height of this thing at about 4 o'clock this morning. It was absolutely incredible. Let me show you what it was like in the parking garage this morning when those winds came through. I mean, look at this. Howling through, and the water that you see there is not from rainfall, mind you. That is Pamlico Sound. That is Pamlico Sound, which has come on in. And I'll tell you, that was just an amazing sight because we literally saw the Sound come up about 6 feet, Sam, in 20 minutes from where it started. I mean, you could see the water rise. It's an amazing sight. And what is usually a docile, glassy-like sound, look at it. It looks like an ocean before a hurricane rather than a sound. But today, it's the wind blowing over it that's causing all the problems. There's a lot of debris cleanup here as this area has suffered a big hit. Power outages down on the southern end of the island number about 20,000. Sam, back to you.
All right, Jim, I'll tell you, watching your images all night when you were able to get up was the most interesting television I've seen in a while, looking at the action of that water coming off the Sound and how quickly it moved in. We will still have bands of winds just like this, but I got to show you what is now moving and steering this hurricane and where it will go. Now, it's getting kind of shoved out to the Atlantic by the jet stream and the cold front. This is the front that brought all those impressive storms into the Northeast for 2 nights in a row. Last night, you were rock and rolling again, New York City, and as that front continues to get toward the East Coast, it will kind of act like a bumper and shove this hurricane continually out toward the Atlantic. But still, we have to watch that East Coast. And Dr. Greg Postel is in our broadcast headquarters in Atlanta. And Greg, show people why we still have to watch this storm. Good morning, sir.
All right, good morning, Sam. You can tell he's getting pretty roughed up by the backside of a Category 2 hurricane. Still Arthur now moving away from the Carolina coast. Let's have a look at the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center. This This is as of 7 a.m. This is the new data now that we've got in. Still 100-mile-per-hour Category 2 hurricane moving northeast at 23 miles per hour, rapidly moving away from the Carolina coast. So let's have a look at what we've got here on the winds near the beach. They are rapidly coming down, 28-mile-per-hour sustained winds. We know we have gusts higher than that. Sam is probably experiencing 30 to 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But look, even up at Virginia Beach right now, 29-mile-per-hour sustained wind out of the north. The good news is, with it moving away and we have that west wind that is weakening, the storm surge flooding values are coming down. Oregon Inlet now 3.1. It's already maxed out. It was up at 3.5 feet earlier, but there's the center of circulation. As I said, that's moving out to sea. The winds will weaken and the storm surge will come down. Farther up the beach, though, we still got some significant rains moving up in Virginia and Maryland. That is going to be a breezy, rainy day, at least for a little while. Let's time it out for everybody as we move through the morning hours. Look how quickly Arthur moves away. 2:30 in the afternoon. East coast of New Jersey looks pretty good. New York pretty good with a dry northwest wind coming in. By 9 o'clock tonight, watch out Nantucket, eastern Cape Cod. You may get some gusty winds over tropical storm force as Arthur moves rapidly into the Canadian Maritimes and should be out of your hair by tomorrow morning. We've got tropical storm warnings out now for Nantucket and parts of Cape Cod, eastern Massachusetts. Look at Nantucket. We've got sustained winds, 47 miles per hour, 9 o'clock tonight. But by 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, still some rain showers in the area and the winds coming dramatically down. That is good news. It's moving fast, but we still have to contend with it all day. Maria, back to you.
All right. I'm going to take what you have and kind of time step you through the day here and talk about some of the cities impacted here. We're going to start off first by travel. Huge travel day, right? So far, so good as far as no major delays at the airports all the way from Norfolk, D.C., Philly, LaGuardia, and Boston. Seeing some cancellations. Newark leading the pack right now with about 70. We'll see how that ticks as the day goes on. But we're going to time it out now for you. And again, Dr. Postel mentioned that by midday, a lot of the area is kind of clearing from the rain threat, but it does continue in through New England. Watch out for Boston in through the afternoon. And again, right about fireworks time, you do clear out from D.C., Philadelphia, Allentown, Albany, even, of course, back through Pittsburgh and West Virginia. But big caveat here, the wind component, that could be enough to shut down fireworks displays because we do expect by about fireworks time, winds still sustained 20 to 25 miles per hour from New York to Philadelphia and Boston. Look on the 8s next.
Let's do the one thing that changes everything. And let's start at the place with more #1 choices than any other store. Get $5 off cans and $20 off buckets of select paints and stains. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Sonic has like every slush flavor someone could ever want.
That's right. This is basically slush headquarters.
Where sour blue raspberry plans world domination.
What?
Get colorful with new Sonic slushes, now available with Nerds Candy. This is how you Sonic.
Each year, 95% of homeowners won't have a claim. That's why Allstate gives you money back every year you don't have one. Oops. Claim-free rewards from Allstate. Your home protects you. Protect it back.
Wait! Prilosec's not made for immediate heartburn relief. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. Prilosec can take 24 hours. Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Home improvement improved with the Home Depot Project of the Week. We take you step by step through great seasonal tips and easy-to-do projects for your home and garden every Saturday morning on Weather Center Live. And for more information and inspiration for your next how-to project, go to weather.com/Home Depot.
Currently in our area, 63 degrees under sunny skies. Independence Day, sunny, high 82. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear, near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
good dad, but weeds just make me rattlesnake mad. Well, Roundup has a sharpshooting wand. I'm sending them weeds to the great beyond. Roundup. Yeah. No need to pump, just point and shoot. Hit them in the leaves and it kills to the root. Ground fences, trees, even mulched beds. Because the only good weed is a weed that's dead. Roundup. Yeah. Roundup. Yeah. With a one-touch wand.
Want to celebrate the 4th without little uninvited guests? Stop by your neighborhood Ace to get Ortho Home Defense Max with Comfort Wand. Just $9.99 after $3 instant savings during our 4th of July event, happening now.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Experience matters in farming. And when it comes to efficient power, no one has more experience than Case IH. Our industry-leading SCR engine technology has powered over 35,000 pieces of equipment and has over 17 million operating hours in North America alone. It was the right solution from the start, and it's proving itself right again as our new generation of Tier 4B equipment takes to the field. Proven power, proven efficiency, proven in the field. Case IH. Be ready.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
And it is 10 minutes past the hour. This is what happens when a Category 2 hurricane blows onto shore, packing 100-mile-per-hour winds. Check out that sand and the rain just whipping across Harker's Island. Hurricane Arthur made landfall overnight on North Carolina's Outer Banks, and it's still being felt right now as it continues to move very quickly off to the northeast. Now, take a look at Arthur's impact on waves in Waves, North Carolina, part of the Outer Banks. We had the blinding rain that moved across the pavement there. That's the same location that Storm Tracker Jim Cantori has been reporting from all morning long. At times couldn't because of those winds. Now Sam continues to report live for us out of Kill Devil Hills in North Carolina, and those winds are still whipping. No goggles right now. Hopefully your eyes are being okay in that sand, Sam.
Hey, Maria, how are you? Yeah, we're taking a look at the beach, just kind of checking it out now that we've got full daylight. Waves are still pretty active here. Let me show you how much beach we've eroded away. We've got a lip here. This beach was a gentle kind of beach that walked all the way down. And we've got folks trying to get out in here, but hopefully this wind and the sand here will get them off the beach pretty shortly. But this is about how much. We lost about 1.5 feet of beach all the way down to the water. But Reagan Medji is in Wrightsville Beach this morning. And Reagan, I know you've been talking to folks out there about erosion this morning. Good morning, Reagan.
Well, good morning there, Sam. That's right. The beach erosion thing, that is a big deal here in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. We rode around with the mayor early today just to kind of assess the damage, if any, and this is what we found.
This is a public parking lot. It supports the Marina District, which is restaurants and the boats. It's a pretty important place for the beach activities. And typically, during a Category 2 or better hurricane here, we would not only will be out of power, but you wouldn't be able to stand here right now.
So our next stop is Wrightsville Beach, and your concern was the possibility of beach erosion.
That's right.
So what do we have here as we're looking?
We have, as you can see, we've got a little light to moderate beach erosion from the storm last night. Probably about a 10-foot drop-off, gradual drop-off. But what the most important thing here is, the area in front of you that's level was put here about a month ago, $8.5 million beach renourishment project. That on this storm was our biggest concern, that we might lose this new sand we put on the beach. And as it looks currently right now, that it's not as bad as it may have been.
All right, we talked about beach erosion. You said there was a gradual 10-foot drop. Now, I'm by the shore. Yesterday at this time, I would almost get pummeled by that shore. Now, look where the beach erosion is. Here's my knees. And here I go. So basically, there is a bit of erosion here in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. And this whole area where I'm walking right now, I'll walk pretty slow for my camera people. As you see, this was all filled with water. Now, it's an $8.5 million project to renourish this beach. Just ended last month. So this is a sigh of relief here in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. Sam, back to you.
All right, Reagan, it's a difficult thing. These communities have to deal with this sand replacement, but if they had not replenished that beach, that water would have been way up, further up in their homes and businesses than it was. All right, so we're standing here live in Kill Devil Hills, but let's get back into the studio this morning because with Eneritis, there's an awful lot of folks who are getting a look at the damage this morning and discussing what they're going to do in the future. Good morning, Eneritis.
Good morning, Sam. Well, sun's up and emergency management crews are getting their first look this morning at the damage from Hurricane Arthur. We're going to get the latest update on the impact from North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory. He'll speak at 9 o'clock this morning in Raleigh. But this is what we know so far. More than 19,000 people are without power. The U.S. Coast Guard Station Hatteras saw a 3-foot rise in the water and 19,000 people without power now. At the height of the storm, that number was around 21,000. Most of the Outer Banks, 60,000 residents did not evacuate the storm. What we know from the governor is under 5,000 people were evacuated. We're going to continue Arthur's track north. Is expected to brush some communities in the northeast, and we'll have the latest on the other side of the break.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
Ugh, this dress. New Coppertone Clearly Sheer sunscreens. Barely noticeable and face-friendly for beach, pool, and sunny days. Perfect, no matter what you're wearing.
It's so on.
Coppertone Clearly Sheer. It's on.
You've reached the age where you know how things work. This is the age of knowing what needs to be done. So why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. 20 million men already have. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
Wait! Prilosec's not made for immediate heartburn relief.
Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. Prilosec can take 24 hours. Zantac, no pill relieves heartburn faster.
I've always seen No-No on TV, and I always wondered if it worked. And it definitely, I can see what everybody talks about now.
It's not a razor. It's not a laser. It's No-No from Radiancy. No-No gives you no hair with no pain.
There's absolutely no pain.
Can't believe the difference, Al. It's almost hair-free.
And now, No-No is better than ever. Introducing the new No-No Pro. It's up to 35% more powerful. Imagine never having to shave again.
I like a close shave.
Absolutely.
And this is better than that. I mean, it's gone.
And there's a No-No for him, too.
It looks like just like you've got a fresh wax, but like you don't have to go through all the pain.
Call now, and we'll send you everything you need to get rid of your unwanted hair. Try No-No for 60 days. If you don't love it, return it, and we'll refund the purchase price, refund the shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try No-No risk-free today.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by Lowe's, the place to save this 4th of July.
Kids are fed?
Kids are fed, homework is done, baths are taken.
I'm impressed. Looks like you've got everything under control.
We got it all under control here. We're all good, right, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, we're all good here. Yep.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you.
Finally, a paint that's stain-resistant and scrubbable. Introducing new Valspar Reserve. Now get $10 to $40 off our best paint and stains.
Currently in our area, 62 degrees under fair skies. Independence Day, abundant sunshine. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies, near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
North Carolina. We just had an unofficial report of 103 miles per hour at Stumpy Point, 15 miles to my northwest. We are still in the eye, and we're still trying to get to the same place that we can put our satellite dish up right now.
Boy, oh boy, that's what it felt like at 3 a.m. this morning. That's where the hurricane passed over Jim Cantore. It happened to be in Waves, North Carolina. He couldn't go live because those winds were whipping so badly, but we're happy he's reporting live now and is okay. We can see just how intense it was. Dr. Greg Postel is here with us, and Arthur made history, it looks like, the earliest landfalling hurricane in North Carolina, July 3rd officially. So that's the stat.
That's the stat. As a Cat 2 hurricane with 100-mile-per-hour winds near Shackleford, let me get that right, Shackleford Banks, North Carolina. Let's have a look at the graphic. This is where it made landfall, and right out in here. So in the southern part of the Outer Banks last night at about 11:15 Eastern Time. And we saw some pretty strong wind gusts, as the Can Man, I like to call him, was reporting. He had some wind gusts of about 100 miles per hour near his location. That matches up with what we've seen here. So the strongest sustained winds that I could find anywhere were in the 75 to 80 mile per hour range, and sort of the sparsely located instruments. But the idea is that very strong wind gusts were in place, and I'm sure did some damage. When we get the video, we'll see some of that. Looking right now at the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center as of 7 o'clock this morning. Still, it's a 100-mile-per-hour Category 2 hurricane, but look, it is moving northeast at 23 miles per hour. That is rapidly taking it out of the picture. Good news for the Carolinas. Right now, we're getting some rain still on the on the Virginia beaches and the Maryland beaches, but that too will be moving away, I think, fairly quickly this afternoon as Arthur moves on out to sea. So let's have a look at where we expect the winds to be with Arthur as we move it through the afternoon hours. That area shaded in purple is the sustained tropical storm force winds. So keep an eye on that and watch how close to the beach it gets. Jersey Shore by middle of the afternoon will be just fine. You'll have an offshore breeze, maybe 10 to 20 miles per hour, but the real strong stuff is going to remain over 100 miles out to sea off of the New Jersey coast and likely off of the east coast of Long Island. However, as we move Arthur toward the northeast, some of those sustained tropical storm force winds by tonight will scrape, we think, parts of maybe eastern Cape Cod and probably Nantucket Island. So watch out for a windy night with rains there as well. But then it's going to move away very quickly into the Canadian Maritimes, and tomorrow should be a very nice day, even that far north. However, with those strong winds, we are going to have a rip current threat today. High threat all the way from Ocean City, Maryland, all the way up through Atlantic City. This is all up and down the Jersey Shore and also the south shore of Long Island, Hampton Bays, and a moderate threat for rip currents in southern New England. This is a serious threat. I know the 4th of July, people want to get out on the beaches. Watch out for those rip currents. Sam, back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Greg. We are standing on one of those beaches that we've got some people who have been walking around, but this blowing sand, I'm hoping is going to make it uncomfortable enough to chase them back indoors until this wind dies down. The perspective from the beach, the perspective from watching this hurricane move through is completely different from the reality out in the water. And Maria, you got a chance to actually talk to some folks who were out in the water or had the view from the water as this hurricane, this Category 2 hurricane, made landfall and then scooted back out in the Atlantic.
Yeah, Sam, the images are absolutely incredible as Arthur rolled through. Take a look. This is the Frying Pan Tower Adventure Bed and Breakfast. It's a former Coast Guard light station 30 miles off the North Carolina coast.
As you can tell, it's a little windy.
And this is Richard Neal. He's living on the tower and documented Arthur's approach from the top of the tower to the waves pounding against the support beams below, all the way down to the Barracuda riding out the storm under the surface.
Here's what it looks like. Get ready for the wind.
Thursday afternoon, the wind picked up 50-mile-per-hour gust. And then the waves started to build. They crested as they rolled right under the Frying Pan Tower platform.
That's about probably 18, 20 foot right there. It's a mountain of water.
By the time Arthur passed, wind speeds reached nearly 100 miles per hour, making it hard to reach the rails outside. As Richard experienced, few places let you come face-to-face with a hurricane, like the Frying Pan Tower Adventure Bed and Breakfast. Just amazing pictures. We'll be right back here on AMHQ looking at the impacts and ahead at the forecast.
There once was a hungry road that ate up tires, wearing down tread and wearing out safety. Then along came the Michelin Man, who got drivers back on the road with safety that lasts. Find your tire at michelinman.com. Michelin, a better way forward.
Let's go.
Some things just go together, like auto and home insurance. Bundle them together at Progressive, and you save big on both. Hey, it's me! And there's my dog! There's my steps! I should stop talking. Perfectly paired savings. Now that's Progressive.
I'm Adam Richmond. To get a tender steak like these that I picked up at Walmart, look for great marbling. Just the right amount brings out the flavor in heaping forkfuls of joy.
Try all natural steaks from Walmart today. They're 100% guaranteed or your money back.
Fact. Every time you take Advil liquid gels, you're taking the pain reliever that works faster on tough pain than extra strength Tylenol. And not only faster, stronger too. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil. Fact. Every time you take Advil, you're taking the medicine doctors recommend most for joint pain, more than the medicine in Aleve or Tylenol. The medicine in Advil is the #1 doctor recommendation for joint pain. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil.
Bridgestone tires perform best when you need it most.
Like when Julie Bowen is late taking her son to a birthday party.
Okay, people, you, front seat, you, out of my way. Julie has our new Drive Guard tires, the next generation of run-flat technology.
Oh, good. Nails.
Oh, these tires are engineered to take a puncture and then drive up to 50 miles.
50 miles? Great, because I remember the present, but I forgot the kid. Yeah, you need to check. Oh, I forgot. I have a lot of kids.
Want to celebrate the 4th without little uninvited guests? Stop by your neighborhood Ace to get Ortho Home Defense Max with Comfort Wand. Just $9.99 after $3 instant savings during our 4th of July event, happening now.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
From safety to fuel economy to quality, today's Chevrolet has it all. And it's a great time to buy. During the Chevy 72-hour sale, you'll get 0% APR for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for the rest of the summer. 0% APR for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for the rest of the summer. Hurry, the Chevy 72-hour sale ends Monday. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Currently in our area, 62 degrees.
Welcome to this special edition of AMHQ. I'm Maria LaRosa. Sam, good morning to you.
Good morning, Maria. We're still live right here at Kill Devil Hills. We've got a couple of more people getting out. It's amazing that as soon as the heavy rain stops, folks are just trying to get out and see the beach. And I really want you to get back inside. We've got a very powerful Category 2 hurricane still pounding up the Atlantic and blowing these winds right down the shore, Maria. We've got, by the way, let me just kind of set this up for you, what you're looking at. You're looking right here. We had a low tide at about 6 o'clock this morning, so we're kind of in between right now. As we got here yesterday, this beach was a very kind of flat beach that went all the way gently from the dune up here right down. There's been about 1.5 to 2 feet of erosion on the beach. At some point, it looks like this sand had kind of been replenished here because there's some seagrass underneath there. But now from there to down here has been completely washed and blown away. Jim Cantori is just down the beach. And Jim, that eye wall passed right over you overnight last night. I was surprised at how quickly the sound water made the return trip and blew right over where you guys were standing this morning, Jim. It looked like you were a little surprised by it too. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Sam, I was kind of surprised at how quick the water came up. I mean, literally as soon as the winds turned around, 20 minutes later, we had 6 feet of water out here. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. I'm on Highway 12 right now, still looking south, looking north, and it's covered with water. This is the end of the road. This is the 2 yellow lines I'm standing on right here. And then over here, again, the white line. But there's all sorts of bubbles coming from the side. So the water's going down, Sam. There's just a lot of debris, some big boulders here. I don't know if you can see this, but that's going to have to be removed with the payloader. There's debris in the roads as well. Let me take you to another camera, the North Carolina DOT camera here, and you can see what it's like a little bit farther to my north. And some good news out of Dare County this morning. They have lifted the ban so people can come back into Dare County. Now, that is not the case for Hatteras Island. So if you're coming back through Dare County, don't expect to get down here. Roads are underwater, there's debris here, and they have not cleared Hatteras Island beyond the Bonner Bridge. Sam, again, nice to see the water come down. Unfortunately, a weekend that should be full of people is going to be full of residents cleaning up all this debris. Back to you.
All right, Jim, thank you. I'll tell you, that's really good to know that those folks can't get all the way back down that area before they start to make the trip. All right, Maria, let's get back into the broadcast headquarters in Atlanta and get caught up on the other information going on. I know you have got a piece from Dave Malkoff a little bit here.
That's right. You know, storm surge, we were focusing on, a lot on that too. And communicating what that would do to places like Kill Devil Hills. And Dave Malkoff is in Nags Head with more.
You guys, a lot of activity here on the bridge that takes you from Nags Head over to Manteo. Man, oh man, let me show you what's going on with this storm surge. It is wild, whipping all that water onto the roadway here and completely washing it out. So there is basically no way to get from Nags Head over to Manteo. But emergency crews are having to do that because there's an airport on the other side of this bridge, right across there. And near that airport, we're hearing reports of loads of power lines just tangled into the trees that are falling down there, and that's cutting off access to emergency crews who need to get through there. So they don't know how to do that because the power company has to come out first, and then they actually have to shut off that power before they can cut those trees down. But look at this. Hold on a second. Let's just listen and see the power of this hurricane as it is pushing this storm surge over the highway, cutting off Nags Head from Manteo, which is a different island down there. You can hear it, you can feel it. This is very warm water here pushing through. And just yesterday, it was feeling very, very cold. I'm gonna walk over here to the other side, and we can see some of the debris that is left here. Hurricane Arthur really doing its worst here on the bridge. On the other side, lots of damage. down a little bit from us. We are going to try to go down there in just a little bit. We've got a structure fire. There was some kind of electrical issue inside a house where I'm not sure if there's people inside the house or not, but we're going to try to check out that structure fire that they are returning to in just a little bit, and they're responding. Lots of crews out on the roadway, but I mean, look at the conditions. They are just worsening here in between Nags Head and Manteo as you look at that storm surge. Wild, wild weather from Hurricane Arthur. Back to you guys.
All right, Dave Malkoff and Nags Head, appreciate that, but you see the power of the wind to push the water. Well, we're talking about winds, and that still has power as we see Hurricane Arthur kind of exit. A beautiful display of that power. This is looking at the wind streams, courtesy of nullschool.net. And what you're looking at, there's the center of Arthur, and you see the intensity of the winds on the right side of the storm. But then look on the east side, and we have those winds coming down from the northwest and into the storm. I'll tell you, it was glorious, the breeze in the southeast, because it also helped bring down drier air. Winds had gusted to about 25 miles per hour here in Atlanta when the center of the storm was about 300 miles away. But keep in mind, as the storm continues to move off to the north and east, the winds combined with that front coming through the northeast, still going to be a big issue heading into the evening. And Dr. Postel, we can say with that forward motion at this point that Arthur has decidedly been picked up by that jet stream.
Exactly right, Maria. It's heading on out, and that's good news, especially for folks along the North Carolina coast. Let's have a look at the latest advisory for the National Hurricane Center. Still a Category 2 hurricane with 100-mile-per-hour winds, but look, the center of circulation is right there, now over 75 miles to the east-northeast of Kill Devil Hills. Pressure now 973. It is moving rapidly off toward the northeast at 23 miles per hour. That is excellent news. And let's have a look at some of the radars in tight here, showing you the winds have calmed down quite a bit. Only sustained 24 at Kill Devil Hills, Virginia Beach 29. But Wallops Island, Virginia has a wind now onshore at 23 miles an hour from the Atlantic, so expect some rip currents there along the beaches today. But right now, we still have a little bit of storm surge flooding to deal with in Oregon Inlet. This is sound side flooding as the wind comes in from the west and piles up the water on Cape Hatteras. So in the Outer Banks, so watch out for still some storm surge flooding for the next couple of hours. Atlantic City, we got some rain showers, maybe some thunderstorms moving in. I don't think they're going to last too long today. That's good news for the Jersey Shore and locations on to the north. You can see that by about 3 o'clock. Things should be clearing out, and the beach weather should be getting better in the late afternoon. We'll have an offshore breeze. A breeze maybe 10 to 20 miles per hour with maybe some higher gusts from time to time. But really the worst weather as we head through the evening hours will be in eastern Massachusetts and eastern Cape Cod and perhaps Nantucket with sustained tropical storm force winds. A distinct possibility there before this whole thing moves rapidly on off into the Canadian Maritimes. Guys, so what we've got here is this tropical storm warnings. This is what we've got left on the maps. There we've got tropical storm warnings all the way out for parts of eastern Massachusetts and Nantucket Island. And if you want to time it out for Nantucket, look at what we've got here. We have rain showers all day with a wind increasing. Look at this. This is a sustained wind at Nantucket, 45 miles per hour at midnight tonight. But then even there, things should rapidly improve as we follow the cone. Everything is going to be heading out to sea as Arthur moves into cooler waters and weakens. Stay tuned for all the latest on Arthur. We will be right back.
Currently in our area, 64 degrees under fair sky.
Bridgestone's new Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and go up to 50 miles.
We can drive 50 miles on a flat, and you have an app that makes nails pop up. Yep. We could rule the world. But I've got carpool at 3, though, so that time we could, like, mess with the world.
50 miles on a flat. Because if your tires keep rolling, your day does too. And there's no better place to get your Bridgestone Drive Guard tires than Firestone Complete Auto Care.
I'm a loving husband and a real good dad, but weeds just make me rattlesnake mad. Well, Roundup has a sharp-shooting wand. I'm sending them weeds to the great beyond. Roundup. Yeah. No need to pump, just point and shoot. Hit them in the leaves and it kills to the root. Round fences, trees, even mulched beds, because the only good weed is a weed that's dead. Roundup. Yeah. Roundup. With a one-touch wand.
Hurry in for savings. Get 10 to 30% off major appliances $3.99 or more, plus 18 months special financing through July 7th at Lowe's.
Really? So our business can be on AT&T's network for $175 a month?
Yep, all 5 of you for $175.
Our clients need a lot of attention.
There's unlimited talk and text.
We're working deals all day.
You get 10 gigabytes of data to share.
What about expansion potential?
Add a line anytime for $15 a month.
Low dues, great terms.
Let's close.
Introducing AT&T Mobile Share Value Plans with our best ever pricing for business.
New Coppertone Clearly Sheer sunscreens. Barely noticeable and face-friendly for beach, pool, and sunny days. Perfect, no matter what you're wearing.
It's so on.
Coppertone Clearly Sheer. It's on.
Summertime is watermelon time, and as a farmer, it's my favorite time of year. To know their sweetness will put a smile on someone's face means the world to me. That's why I work with Walmart. They make sure you only get the freshest watermelons, backed by their 100% money-back guarantee.
They lived.
They lived. They lived.
We lived, thanks to our Subaru.
Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Wait! Prilosec's not made for immediate heartburn relief. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. Prilosec can take 24 hours. Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
3, 2, 1, idle.
Introducing York Minis. A bite-sized new way to enjoy the full-size sensation of peppermint and rich dark chocolate. New York Minis. Get the sensation.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
And welcome back into AMHQ. 18 minutes for the top of the hour. Take a look at these images from Kill Devil Hills on the Outer Banks. Wind from Hurricane Arthur just lashing the dunes along the beach. We had those strong wind gusts blowing that rain, bending the trees, whipping the flags, you name it. All those flags up for Independence Day, of course, and everyone concerned about plans as well. Now, just about 45 minutes down the coastline from Kill Devil Hills, check out the high water in waves. Storm Tracker Jim Cantori says flooding reached 6 feet high at one point, and this garage just covered in water. Now, Sam, as the sun comes up, we're starting to get a clearer picture of that impact made by Hurricane Arthur. The good news is Jim Cantori was saying that Dare County, they're letting people back in so they can check out their homes and some of that damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can tell you right now, Maria, that we're looking at what's going on here at Kill Devil Hills. Most of the buildings did really well for a Category 2 hurricane that is still pounding the Atlantic. That moved kind of through this area. I'm looking at roofs with shingles still pretty solidly intact. Doesn't appear to be a whole lot of building damage in this area. As this storm that is just 75 miles away from where we are right here in the Atlantic continues to move up the coastline, one of the cities that's going to be involved in its movement next passage area is Virginia Beach, Virginia. It's a beautiful town. They just spent a whole lot of time, effort, and money rebuilding their boardwalk in that area, and they've actually already made some alternate plans for their fireworks display. The mayor of Virginia Beach, William Sesson, joins us by phone this morning. Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Are you with me?
Yes, good morning.
All right, sir. So I know you're in a heavy rain van right now. You're right on the edge of some of that, but what are some of the things you're seeing in your area? Have you had problems with flooding rains and a little bit of wind damage at all?
Well, right now I'm out. I just came off the boardwalk. I'm with the fire department as we speak. Our winds right now are about 20 to 25 miles an hour. We had some gusts up to 50, but we believe that will be coming down significantly in the next few hours. Right now, we only have 275 people without power, which is amazing. The southern part of our city, which abuts North Carolina, had higher winds and has some flooding, and we're heading down there now, but it's nothing extreme at this point. But overall, it looks like we've done very, very well. We've gotten very lucky.
That's really good to hear, sir. Now, tell me a little bit about your plans for folks who are watching. It's the 4th of July. A lot of people are wondering, are we getting fireworks in or are we not?
We're going to get fireworks in, but we're going to get them in tomorrow. And basically, we've moved everything a day. We're getting that announced. We've got that going out to the public through every means we can. But we're going to. It appears that this afternoon that this storm will blow off the coast, and that the weather should be clearing up this afternoon. But the ocean will still be rough. We'll still have some winds. So it's best to delay the fireworks until tomorrow.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for joining us and getting us straight on that direction. We've got about a 45, 46 mile per hour wind gust right here on the beach at Kill Devil Hill. We still have some power on. I'm looking at the lights right now to see. But Anna Rodriguez, you've got numbers on power outages this morning. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning, Sam. We first want to update you that business owners in North Carolina's Outer Banks want you to know that Hurricane Arthur is no season killer, many of them staying open through the storm. However, the Category 2 storm made landfall late last night, and we'll get the latest update on its impact when North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory will speak at 9 o'clock this morning in Rally to the media. Right now, what we do know is that more than 24,000 people are without power, and that's up from 19,000 just about 20 minutes ago. The U.S. Coast Guard station Hatteras saw a 3-foot rise in the water level as Arthur passed. There's no power on Ocracoke Island. It'll likely be Sunday. Hyde County emergency officials are telling us before power is restored. Most of Outer Banks' 60,000 residents did not evacuate before the storm. We know just under 5,000 did. Right now, there are no reports of injuries in North Carolina. However, 2 men were hit by lightning on Georgia's Tybee Island. They're in the hospital this morning. We're told they are conscious and alert after the strike. So definitely, Maria, a reminder to be careful when these storms are out there, not to be outside.
Absolutely. We want to do a huge favor to all our wonderful emergency responders. Please make them work less hard this weekend. And speaking of this weekend, let's get you through it, right? We have, of course, Arthur, also watching the possibility of severe weather in the northern plains. In between, looking beautiful from Chicago down towards the Gulf Coast. Now, tomorrow, we start to see some of those showers and thunderstorms move into Madison and Minneapolis, and right along the southeast coast, typical showers and thunderstorms. But you're getting in a beautiful weekend, summer weekend in the northeast, looking great. Saturday and Sunday, Boston, New York, Pittsburgh to Charleston, all the way to Nashville. More on Arthur and looking ahead after the break.
Let's unplug the past and help ourselves to something better. Let's shop smarter and save bigger. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. This Maytag French door refrigerator, just $9.98.
These cheesy bread dogs, the cheese is baked right into the bun.
It's what's on the outside that counts?
Huh, prove that.
Count on the cheesy goodness of the new cheesy bread dogs. This is how you Sonic.
Currently in our area, 64 degrees under fair sky. Independence Day, abundant sunshine. High 82, winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies, near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Searching with devotion for a snack that isn't lame, but this takes my breath away.
You've reached the age where you learned a thing or two. This is the age of knowing what you're made of. So why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. 20 million men already have. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
Whether it's roaches in the vents or Indian meal moss in the pantry, I have everything from growth regulators to pheromone traps. They think they're going to get lucky, but their luck just ran out.
Defiance is in our bones. Defiance never grows old. Citracal Maximum, calcium citrate plus D. Highly soluble, easily absorbed.
I often think how amazing it is that I am a business owner when I'm definitely not a business guy.
When you believe in something and you want to pursue your dreams, you just have to go for it.
I think owning your own business just makes you feel so much more successful.
We take pride in what we do, but being proud of it is a part of it as well.
So when I design stuff, when I market, it's definitely got to feel like me.
Vistaprint allowed me to create that vision that I had in my mind.
I was able to find a template, then just pop my logo into it.
Vistaprint had all the things that I really needed to be able to market my company.
Your business is your passion. Your marketing materials should reflect that. With Vistaprint, they will. So start putting your passion to work for you with 500 business cards starting at just $9.99. That's right, get 500 cards for just $9.99 when you enter promo code TV500 at Vistaprint.com.
I love my job.
Vistaprint.com.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
We are really getting hammered with the wind. Winds are at 80 miles an hour right now. Oh.
And let me tell you, that's not all Jim went through last night. There was actually about 101 mile per hour wind report there. They had some water coming up against where he was from the Atlantic. And then as the winds changed, they got 6 feet of surge coming off of Pamlico Sound. That was quite a night in those lower areas that are just down around the bend here on the outer banks of North Carolina. We still have a Category 2 hurricane that is kind of about 70, 75 miles out that direction, and it's about 50 after, 51 after, so it's time for our tropical update, and that means we're going in to Dr. Greg Postel. And Greg, in looking at that first landfall, the official landfall seemed to be somewhere right there around Beaufort at about 11 o'clock tonight, but I know you have the exact details. And then we had the exit not too far away from where we were. Just walk us through that a little bit, sir, if you can.
All right, Sam, will do. Stay safe out there. He's getting roughed up by some pretty strong winds still on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. What Sam was talking about right here is when Arthur made its first landfall. It was about 11:15 last night Eastern time, and it was in Shackelford Banks, North Carolina, with 100-mile-per-hour winds. That's the official intensity estimate at landfall. That's a Cat 2 landfall in North Carolina on July 3rd. That is a big deal and a rare event, no doubt about that. Sam was also talking about some wind gusts that we had. Notice that we had 101-mile-per-hour wind gust at Cape Lookout. Now, keep in mind these are wind gusts, not the sustained winds. The highest sustained winds that I could find were in the 75 to 80-mile-per-hour range. Still, that is strong enough to do damage, and I imagine a lot of the pictures today that come out will show just that. Here's the latest advisory. This is also, Sam was saying, it was about 75 to 80 miles to the east-northeast of Kill Devil Hills. That's where the center of circulation is, but he's still getting buffeted by a north-northwest wind on the backside of that, and that is still piling up some water from the sound on the Outer Banks. So we're still seeing some storm surge flooding rise right out in there, maybe 1 to 2 feet still. It reached earlier its peak height at about 2 to 4 feet, which was actually right on forecast from the National Hurricane Center. They did a fantastic job with estimating a lot of the impacts associated with Arthur. Let's look right now across parts of the Delaware and Maryland coast. We can still see we've got a lot of rain out that way and some flash flooding still to go. Let's take it back to Sam. Sam, what's up?
Hey, Greg, no, I just have a question for you because I'm looking at these skies just kind of whip by right now. These clouds have definitely got a movement on them, and they appear to be going straight off the shoreline. About how long are we in this wind band until these clouds really start to ease up on us a little bit, and the winds as well?
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the radar. Let me move the radar for you and show you that you're almost out of it, Sam. You are in Kill Devil Hills, which is right about there, and you do have this one last band that is rotating through. You can see that right in here, and that is Kill Devil Hill. So what we've got there is this last band to deal with a west wind, which is good news for bringing the Atlantic water in. It's not going to be storm surge from the Atlantic side, but you still have some water rises from the sound.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Greg. I appreciate it. That's awfully good for us to hear, standing out here on the beach as well. All right, let's get back inside with Maria and get a checkup on some other things. Maria?
Yeah, absolutely, Sam. We're staying true to our mantra that we're helping you plan everything that you need to know for your day ahead, and that includes the heavy rain that is impacting parts of the Delmarva, Georgetown, in through Sussex County, Delaware here. Flash flood warning in effect. Georgetown, Laurel, Seaford, you're all involved in this. We've already had about 1 to 3 inches of rainfall, and you can see without it moving too quickly here, you could be picking up quite a bit more over the next hour or so. Then you have the front component. All of that working together to slow down your travel. So far, so good as far as widespread air delays from Norfolk all the way out up into Boston. We're not seeing anything major happening. Cancellations have been spotty, so that may have been impacting you, but so far, again, nothing that is incredibly major. Winds will still be an issue, I think, for some of the festivities because fireworks are heavily dependent, even if the rain moves out, on the winds. And so you may have the fire marshals or the safety officials here calling it because you're still, by later this afternoon and into the evening, places like New York and Philadelphia, those winds still on the order of 20, 30 miles per hour, quite gusty, and that may be enough that those fire marshals say not safe for the spectators. So we'll keep an eye on that. But again, the good news is for the most part, that heavy rain threat will be out of here. So New York into the evening, count on the gusty winds, temperatures being held into the mid-70s. Can't rule out a shower or two, but we're not thinking that thunderstorms will be a big problem. Philadelphia looking great if you're heading down to the riverfront here. You've got some sunshine and breaks in that overcast by later on this afternoon and evening. Temperatures again staying into the mid and upper 70s, so fireworks, depending on the wind situation, may be good to go. Again, heading into the weekend, this is the big payoff because you have that cold front clean sweeping the northeast and the mid-Atlantic, not only pushing Arthur but bringing in that drier air. It is going to be spectacular. Bright sunshine, lower humidity, temperatures warm into the mid and upper 80s. The same for New York. Really, today is the day, Sam, if you're trying to get out and about, will be your big problem. Over to you.
All right, we are still live right right here at Kill Devil Hills. Maria, we've got the tail edge of this system moving through. What a night it has been on the Outer Banks, but there's still more from this storm to come. We are going to take you up to the northeast as we watch this storm continue its track off the East Coast.
Currently in our area, 66 degrees under fair sky. Independence Day, abundant sunshine. High 82, winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies, near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Good morning. This is AMHQ. It is July 4th. If you're just waking up with us this morning, happy 4th of July. And what a night it has been, Maria, on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. A Category 2 hurricane makes landfall just south of here, then comes out the other side of the Outer Banks, remaining a Category 2, and is still this morning just about 70, 75 miles off of where I'm standing right now, a Category 2. Good morning, Maria.
Good morning, and believe it or not, it's technically easing up where you are, Sam, and in Nags Head and Kill Devil Hills, where it's just still the winds, the power of the winds. But take a look at some of these live pictures as we continue to track what's left of Arthur as it continues to move out. Obviously, the Outer Banks still being impacted with wind and rain. Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. Arthur has moved through. Surf is still quite rough and high. You can see the waves coming in. Thankfully, it looks like the beaches are quiet as far as people goes, and that's going to help our crews get to work and help clean everything up all the quicker. And we do welcome you back into a special edition of AMHQ. I'm Maria LaRosa, and Sam Champion's live in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Maria, and I'm actually here with Stephanie Abrams as well. We're going to take a look at the current radars and show you what's going on with this storm. Stephanie, the latest information has this thing continually pulling offshore, but it is still packing a punch as it continues to hold together moving offshore.
Not only hold together, but combined with the front, because the front has picked it up, and that's why it is racing out to sea at the current time.
Yeah, it's interesting in the dynamics of how this thing will move now. What you'll see as it connects with the front and even right against that jet stream is it's going to have a fast move, and it's going to be tearing up the coastline. Now, when you look at the cone of this thing, it still has part of that edge of Massachusetts, that Cape Cod area in the cone, and we still believe it's going to be a powerful storm as it passes by.
And I think what a big concern is for the East Coast, and I want everyone who's listening to pay attention, if you're going to the beaches on the East Coast, rip current. Yeah. Not only here, but we're talking about all the way up to Nantucket as we head over the next several hours.
Absolutely, and even if you're looking at from Jersey Shore this morning or Long Island this morning, and that storm isn't going to have a direct impact on you at all, your waters will have a tendency to look exactly like these, and they're just not the waters that you're familiar with.
And speaking of water, Jim Cantori has been knee-deep in water.
All night, all morning long. And Jim, that 6-foot surge, when I saw that whip through into your area, that had to be kind of impressive even for you, sir.
It was, and I'll tell you guys, you know, I was through Katrina. I saw 30 feet of water rise. I knew what to expect. I had an idea of how high the water was going to get here. But you know what? For my cameraman, for my sound guy, for my sat truck guys, for my producers, they've never been in storm surge like that. So it was a very frightening experience for them. And of course, remember, as the storm surge is coming in, we've got winds around 80 miles per hour. So we're right there in the eye wall. So it was horrible. It came all the way up through here. You can see the debris that's come in from Pamlico Sound. It was sitting right up and through here, about halfway up. And guys, look at this. Even this morning, you can still see as you look out toward Pamlico Sound just how rough it is out there. The winds are still blowing pretty strong here between these two buildings. But white caps on Pamlico Sound on July 4th, Never, ever would have thought that. Highway 12 is still flooded, and this is brand new, Sam and Stephanie. We're going to get more information on this. I'm going to try and talk to, or you are going to try and talk to Mark Suddeth, who's been working with us, and he has found some massive erosion on Highway 12 near the temporary bridge. This could be a huge player in when people may or may not get back on Hatteras Island. It doesn't look like anytime soon. We're going to show that picture and talk to Mark pretty soon here. Sam, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jim. Jim, the other thing I'm very curious to see from where you guys are when you get a chance to get out and shoot is what the damage looks like there. You had some of the highest winds right around that corner into that Rodanthe area, so I'm very curious to see how the buildings handled those winds at 100, 101 miles an hour.
That's pretty typical. The erosion is pretty typical. I would say here we got a couple feet of erosion, but it's not going to ruin the weekend whatsoever.
And you're looking at the buildings here that are in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
So Jim will have a lot of good stuff coming up in the next couple of hours when we're able to get some pictures out of Dr. Greg Postel in Atlanta. And Greg, let's get some information on the storm and what it's doing right now.
Steph and Sam, thank you very much. Let's have a look at the latest now. The latest advisory from the Hurricane Center on Hurricane Arthur. Still Category 2 storm with 100-mile-per-hour winds, moving very rapidly now to the northeast at 21 miles per hour. There's Kill Devil Hills. That's where Sam and Steph are, and this storm is all the way out here, more than 80 miles to their east-northeast, and still pretty windy where they are. That just goes to show you the sphere of influence that Arthur has, even on the Carolina coast as we speak. Sustained wind out of the west at 24 miles per hour at Kill Devil Hills, but it's beginning to pick up a little bit there, Wallops Island, Virginia, north at 15 miles per hour. Storm surge flooding is finally beginning to go down on the Outer Banks. We have that west wind in play here with the center of circulation out here, the wind flow around like that, pushing the sound water up on the Outer Banks, but thankfully it's down about a foot from when I came in this morning a couple of hours ago. So we're starting to see conditions improve, not just with the weather, but also with the storm surge on the Outer Banks. Farther to the north, we've got rain in Atlantic City, Cape May, New Jersey. That's going to be with us for a couple of more hours. Let's time it out for everybody and show you where Arthur's going to go out to sea very quickly by 3:30. I don't think we're going to have much rain, if any, on the beaches there in the Jersey Shore, but we will have an offshore wind sustained probably 10 to 20, maybe some gusts higher than that, and some clouds around. So not the nicest beach day, unfortunately, on the Jersey Shore, and certainly not a nice beach evening in Nantucket and eastern Massachusetts. Combination of a front moving in and Arthur's backside, so to speak, will be bringing some rain and gusty winds to eastern New England overnight tonight. And we have tropical storm warnings out for eastern Massachusetts and for parts of Cape Cod, Nantucket. This is again for the possibility of tropical storm conditions tonight before things rapidly improve even there tomorrow. Maria, back to you.
All right, let's take that information, kind of put it in the framework of 4th of July and the fireworks and how that could be impacting you, right? We're talking about travel too. Big travel day, whether it's to the beaches or just hanging out from Norfolk on up into Boston. So far, so good as far as delays, but wind is always sketchy. We know LaGuardia is tough when the winds get going, and that's going to happen as early as the midday from places like Philadelphia, New York, and on into Boston. So by 2:30, that is going to be a problem. Notice by later this evening, we still have 20 to 25-mile-per-hour winds from New York to Philadelphia, down into D.C. about 10 to 15. That could be enough to shut down some fireworks displays. Trying to find some information if there's a threshold, and there seems to be generally they look at that 20-mile-per-hour range as a time that's just too dangerous to keep the fireworks display going. Looks okay in D.C., not just the weather, but the winds as well. Temperatures staying into the lower 80s. We'll have much more coming up after your local on the 8th.
Surely a vacuum shouldn't just work on carpets. Well, the Dyson DC65 cleans better than any other vacuum across hard floors and carpets. Works for me.
Will new Twizzlers Mixed Berry Bites ever end their rivalry with new Jolly Rancher-filled Gummy Bites? Not today. Bites, little greatness.
From safety to fuel economy to quality, today's Chevrolet has it all. And it's a great time to buy. During the Chevy 72-hour sale, you'll get 0% APR for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for the rest of the summer. 0% APR for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for the rest of the summer. Hurry, the Chevy 72-hour sale ends Monday. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Home improvement improved with the Home Depot Project of the Week. We take you step by step through great seasonal tips and easy-to-do projects for your home and garden every Saturday morning on Weather Center Live. And for more information and inspiration for your next how-to project, go to weather.com/Home Depot.
Currently in our area, 66 degrees under fair skies. Independence Day, plentiful sunshine. High 82, winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear, near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Let's unplug the past. Let's say goodbye to those. And hello to whoa. Let's find a better way to cook this. Wash that. Compare those and save these. Because you can make dinner. Or you can make dinner a breeze. Are you ready? Let's do this. More saving. More doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, this Maytag French door refrigerator, just $9.98.
Husband and a real good dad, but weeds just make me rattlesnake mad. Well, Roundup has a sharp-shooting wand. I'm sending them weeds to the great beyond. Roundup. Yeah. No need to pump, just point and shoot. Hit him in the leaves and it kills to the root. Round fences, trees, even mulched beds, because the only good weed is a weed that's dead. Roundup. Yeah. Roundup. Yeah. With a one-touch wand.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
It is 10 minutes past the hour here on AMHQ, and of course a big travel day, so we want to take a look at how weather's going to be impacting some of that, your driving difficulty index, and we're taking along the PA Turnpike, I-76 from Pittsburgh on in through Harrisburg, and by the time you get to Philadelphia this morning and into the midday at the latest, you will have some showers, maybe some ponding on those roadways, but that should be just about it. And some of the higher profile vehicles, you may have to keep an eye out. 10 and 2 on the steering wheel because of some of the gusty winds we expect by midday and on into the afternoon. It is now 10 minutes past the hour. I want to bring in Sam Champion, who is in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And speaking of travel, Sam, it looks like the ban has been lifted for Dare County. That must be good news for how the roads have sustained Hurricane Arthur.
Yeah, and Maria, everything that would lead you to the north way out of here has been in really good shape, all the way to the bridges that would lead you over here. But everything to the south of here, as you get toward Cantori, that's where you've got a lot of wash over the road, a lot of sand on the road, probably still some water on the road. But coming into the kind of the northern areas here, we feel like people will be able to get back in here this afternoon, and that's going to be comforting for them to be able to see their homes and see their property here and see how it kind of went through a Category 2 hurricane that moved right directly over this area overnight. Wow, what a loud night, the wind and rain here. Reagan Medji is just a little bit south of us. And Reagan, one of the things in Wrightsville Beach had to be the erosion, because we lost some beach here. We're going to get a high tide at about 105 today, so we'll see what that next tide does. But that was a powerful night, Reagan. Good morning.
Well, good morning there, Sam. Yeah, beach erosion was a big issue here in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, as that's what at least the mayor thought. We rode around with him at 3 o'clock this morning to assess damage, and this is basically what we found.
This is a public parking lot. It supports the Marina District, which is restaurants and the boats. It's a pretty important place for the beach activities. And typically, during a Category 2 or better hurricane here, we would not only be out of power, but you wouldn't be able to stand here right now.
So our next stop is Wrightsville Beach, and your concern was the possibility of beach erosion.
That's right.
So what do we have here as we're looking?
We have, as you can see, we've got a little light to moderate beach erosion from the storm last night. Probably about a 10-foot drop-off, gradual drop-off. But what the most important thing here is the area in front of you that's level was put here about a month ago, $8.5 million beach renourishment project that on this storm was our biggest concern, that we might lose this new sand we put on the beach. And as it looks currently right now, that it's not as bad as it may have been.
All right, big sigh of relief here in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina for the mayor and for the entire community. We talked about some beach erosion, yes, about maybe 10 feet, give or take a little bit. Now I'm going to show you exactly the beach erosion. From this vantage point, it looks totally fine, but it isn't. So when you're going down to the beach today, there's a drop from the knee down. You want to make sure that you take precaution when you head down here, but so far, so good. A huge sigh of relief here in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Reagan. We are getting reports of erosion along Highway 12 in the Outer Banks. Emergency crews throughout coastal North Carolina are asking you to stay off the roads this morning. As I mentioned, access Highway 12 southbound toward Hatteras Island completely closed at this moment. We're getting reports of erosion. We're getting reports of flooding. We'll get the latest update from Governor Pat McCrory. He's scheduled to address the media at 9 o'clock this morning in Raleigh. Right now, 24,000 people without power. Electricity is cut off to Ocracoke Island, and it will be Sunday before it is restored. We'll continue to track the impact of Hurricane Arthur. On the other side of the break, you're watching AMHQ.
This driving difficulty index brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
The weather can wreak havoc on a commute, but not if you're prepared. With the driving difficulty index, I can see which roads are hazardous, plan a safer route.
Never start a road trip without it. To get your road conditions, go to weather.com/DDI. Brought to you by Subaru.
After 50 years of designing cars for crash survival, Subaru has developed our most revolutionary feature yet. A car that can see trouble and stop itself to avoid it. When the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety tested front crash prevention, nobody beat Subaru models with eyesight. Not Honda, not Ford, or any other brand. Subaru Eyesight, an extra set of eyes every time you drive.
Sun's out. Challenge issued.
New Copper Tone Sport AccuSpray. Designed to help you spray where you want, not where you don't.
It's so on.
Copper Tone Sport AccuSpray. It's on.
Jack.
Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks.
Bridgestone's new Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and go up to 50 miles.
We can drive 50 miles on a flat, and you have an app that makes nails pop up?
Yep.
We could rule the world. But I've got carpool at 3, though, so
that time.
We could, mess with the world.
50 miles on a flat. Because if your tires keep rolling, your day does too. And there's no better place to get your Bridgestone Drive Guard tires than Firestone Complete Auto Care.
What makes Florida's natural orange juice taste so uniquely fresh and delicious? Is it the rich Florida soil or the perfect blend of sunshine, rain, and temperature? Maybe it's the fact that Florida's natural oranges are never imported. They're raised right here in Florida and passed with care from our hands to yours. 100% pure, 100% Florida. Florida's natural. Try our new citrus smoothies in the chilled juice section next to our orange juice.
Summer days drifting away to those summer nights. Tell me more.
Twizzlerize your summer fun with Twizzlers, the twist you can't resist.
I've always seen No-No on TV, and I always wondered if it worked. And it's definitely, I can see what everybody talks about now.
It's not a razor. It's not a laser. It's No-No from Radiancy. No-No gives you no hair with no pain.
There's absolutely no pain.
Can't believe the difference, how it's almost hair-free.
And now, No-No is better than ever. Introducing the new No-No Pro. It's up to 35% more powerful. Imagine never having to shave again.
I like a close shave.
Absolutely.
And this is better than that. I mean, it's gone.
And there's a no-no for him, too.
It looks like just like you've got a fresh wax, but like you don't have to go through all the pain.
Call now, and we'll send you everything you need to get rid of your unwanted hair. Try No-No for 60 days. If you don't love it, return it, and we'll refund the purchase price, refund the shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try No-No risk-free today.
Stay tuned for your Local on the 8s, brought to you by Lowe's, the place to save this 4th of July.
Kids are fed?
Kids are fed, homework is done, baths are taken.
I'm impressed. Looks like you've got everything under control.
We got it all under control here. We're all good, right, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, we're all good here. Yep.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you.
Finally, a paint that's stain-resistant and scrubbable. Introducing new Valspar Reserve. Now get $10 to $40 off our best paint and stains.
Currently in our area, 65 degrees under fair skies. Independence Day, plentiful sunshine. High 82, winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear. Near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, welcome back into AMHQ. It's 19 minutes past the hour. Take a look at Arthur's impact on Waves, North Carolina. That's part of the Outer Banks. We had that blinding rain as it's coming across the streets there. That same location happens to be where our storm tracker Jim Cantori has been reporting from all morning long, and there was a time where he couldn't go live last night because the winds were that intense. Meanwhile, Hurricane Arthur is pushing water onto Highway 64. This picture coming in from Twitter, making the rounds on social media. This happens to be Roanoke Sound between Nags Head and Manteo. And it does bode well for the roadways there that they've lifted the ban in Dare County, so they are allowing residents to come back in onto the island, so that hopefully is a good sign. And Dr. Greg Postel is here with me. Obviously, we are, gosh, less than 12 hours removed from the first landfall at this point, and we're already seeing improving conditions in a lot of places.
Yeah, it's getting better very quickly, and thanks to its fast movement out to sea. But as you were mentioning, its first landfall, at least last night, was at 11:15 Eastern Time in Shackelford, North Carolina, with 100-mile-per-hour winds. That's a Category 2 landfall. That is a rare event, folks, so this doesn't happen very often. And right now, if you look at the latest advisory, Maria, from the Hurricane Center, still, what, 100 miles per hour?
100 miles per hour, so the wind core is still brisk. And we're seeing from our live shots in the Outer Banks that those bands are still producing some sizable gusts, too.
Yeah, they are. Those are offshore winds. So what they're doing actually is still bringing some high water on the Outer Banks from the sound side, because you have that west wind. And I think that video that we saw, or that picture that we saw earlier, was indeed sound side flooding, which was the worst of it, and they got up to 2 to 4 feet of storm surge with that.
Okay, so what are we looking at as far as what's the next step here?
Yeah, the next step is, well, let me just go through the wind gusts here. Yeah, we had some very high wind gusts with Arthur. I don't think we'll see anything like that with its brush farther to the north along the coast. What we're seeing now is some gusty winds, perhaps, and some rain showers all up and down the Jersey coast, the eastern shore of Maryland. So it's not so nice right now on the beaches. Right?
And you know, you think of southern Jersey, the Delaware beaches. People are seeing that heavy rain right now, and certainly not hoping that it's a washout for them.
Yeah, I think it's you got a couple more hours of the rain and some gusty winds, but I think later on this afternoon, the Jersey Shore, for example, will be much better. Let's have a look at the wind forecast and show you where Arthur's winds are going to be. That area shaded in pink, that's the tropical storm force winds. By 6:30, those are way off the Jersey coast. You'll have a west wind at the beaches there, but look what happens by midnight tonight. Those tropical storm force winds will get very close to Nantucket and perhaps eastern Cape Cod, so that's going to be something to contend with. But even though Arthur's going to be pretty far offshore today. This is a very important graphic. We are still going to have a rip current threat, a high one, up and down the Maryland shores and eastern shore of Delaware and New Jersey and southern Long Island, south shore there.
If there's one thing that we can do as a public service right now is just say, please, please exercise a lot of caution. You know, we've been checking in with Sam, of course, in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. And Sam, I know I've seen video and pictures of already the surfers are out trying to catch some of the big waves, but we hope that they're safe.
You know, and Maria, I get it. I love surfing. I love the water. And when you don't normally get waves as high as you get them in an event like this. And so these guys want to get out there, and gals. It's just the wrong thing to do. Not because this water is just so messed up right now. And I just saw debris flying by with nails in it. So you've really got to worry about that kind of thing and those currents. Ron Allen is in Long Beach, New York, and that's way up the coast from where we are. And Ron, even later today, throughout the evening, folks who are going to want to get out in that water, it's just not the same water as the water they grew up with. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm here on Long Beach in New York, and we've got surfers out there as well. They've been out there since the break of dawn, and I can see all the way down the beach there's dozens of them, and they're enjoying this unusual surf. The problem here, the expectation here is heavy rain. We think that by 11 or noon or so, there's going to be heavy rain falling down, and that's what people are watching for. This whole day could be something of a washout here for the 4th of July. Back to you, Sam.
All right, Ron, thank you very much, sir. And it's certainly a concern all the way up the East Coast, but we've got you, America, covered on your 4th of July as you're waking up this morning on AMHQ.
Want to celebrate the 4th without little uninvited guests? Stop by your neighborhood Ace to get Ortho Home Defense Max with Comfort Wand, just $9.99 after $3 instant savings during our 4th of July event, happening now.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
There once was a hungry road that ate up tires, wearing down tread and wearing out safety. Then along came the Michelin Man, who got drivers back on the road with safety that lasts. Find your tire at MichelinMan.com. Michelin, a better way forward.
Whoa. 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 Wow.
Hello! 3 grams daily of beta-glucan, a soluble fiber from whole grain oat foods like Cheerios, can help lower cholesterol. Thank you.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
Untamed fruit flavor. Jolly Rancher.
This is the age of knowing what you're made of. Why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. Ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor. If your doctor decides Viagra is right for you, you can fill your prescription at your pharmacy or check out Viagra Home Delivery, a convenient place to fill your prescription online and have it shipped at no additional cost straight to your door. Viagra Home Delivery. Get started at Viagra.com.
I'm Adam Richmond. To get a tender steak like these that I picked up at Walmart, look for great marbling. Just the right amount brings out the flavor in heaping forkfuls of joy.
Try all natural steaks from Walmart today. They're 100% guaranteed or your money back.
Currently in our area, 65 degrees under fair skies. Independence Day, plentiful sunshine. High 82, winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear, near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Minutes past the hour here on AMHQ. Welcome to the special hurricane edition. I'm Maria LaRosa. Sam Champion joining us live in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Maria. It's a little easier to look you eye to eye and smile right now. The winds have died down a little bit on the coastline. We're not getting sandblasted, but take a look at the angry Atlantic. I just tweeted out a picture from standing right here. The waves are probably about 5 or 6 feet right out there right now, still, as this storm is about 80 miles offshore, still pounding down on the Atlantic, creating these waves. It was a tough night here in Kill Devil Hills as a Category 2 moved offshore, but I'll tell you where it was even tougher, and that's right around the bend of the Outer Banks near Rodanthe, where Jim Cantori spent the night. Good morning, Storm Tracker Jim Cantori, because you got the near landfall, you got the eye wall, if not the eye as well. You got a 6-foot storm surge. You had quite the night, sir.
Yeah, buddy. Those are the kind of nights that you don't want to have too often. Sam, unfortunately, we are starting to see the full power of Arthur, and it's not good. All right, I'm just going to say that right now. Take a look at this picture here that Mark Suddeth from HurricaneTrack.com just sent me. This is not good here, guys. As we look again at an area here which is near the temporary bridge, he said that, you know, this is an area that a sheriff just had come upon as he was taking the picture, and he said that he had not heard of this or seen this yet, and it is going to take several days before it can be fixed. I mean, you can see the entire infrastructure of that road is completely undermined, not only in one spot, but 2. So that's north of me. South of me, I'm getting word from a friend of mine that there is damage down toward the Avon area. Let's find out if we can get more information on what's going on here. Excuse me. I want to bring in the North Carolina Department of Transportation, Mark Carbono, to talk about this. Mark, can you give us an update, please, on what's going on with Highway 12, really from the Bonner Bridge south?
Sure. Well, Jim, we're still trying to get out and fully assess it this morning. We've had some limited ability in some of the areas because of the high downside flooding that you've seen. But our preliminary assessments from crews this morning were that we had, for the most part, no major pavement damage. Now, of course, you've been showing some spots that our crews are still working to get down to, and they need to inspect those. We've still got a lot of highway that's underwater and covered with sand that needs to be inspected as well. So the operation this morning is getting out there, checking those things out, clearing the sand and water where we can, taking a look at any pavement that was compromised to get an idea of what it's going to take to get either a temporary fix or a permanent fix as quickly as possible so that we can start getting traffic back in and out. We also have the Bonner Bridge. The Bonner Bridge needs to be inspected before we can reopen it, so that's the other mission for the day.
All right, Mike. I'm sorry, it's Mike, not Mark, and I apologize for saying Mark. I've been pulling a 24-hour shift here, but that's no excuse. Mike, if you find an undermined area, just kind of a hypothetical, how long does it take to get at least a temporary road there, a temporary fix?
Sure, Jim. It really depends on the severity of it. Our crews are great down there. Our engineers know that highway. There are things that they can do to put in place to reroute traffic if they can't get a spot open immediately. The focus today is number one, safety, but number two, getting people back to their homes, getting visitors back in as quickly as possible. We've got crews and equipment staged up and down 12. We're ready to roll and respond. So we're going to look for ways to fix things that can be fixed immediately and look for temporary workarounds to get people in and out where we've got to do that.
All right, Mike, we appreciate that from the North Carolina Department of Transportation. From what we're seeing, again, Sam, from Mark Sutton's picture up toward the temporary bridge, I mean, that is serious erosion. That is major structural damage to a highway, regardless of the equipment that's on standby. The point is it's going to take some time to get it back online and get people, residents, visitors back here into Hatteras Island. We may be trapped here for a few days, buddy. Back to you.
Yeah, Jim, I'm not surprised by that because the numbers for this storm were incredibly powerful. So it would seem likely to me that the damage will be pretty intense as well. 12 is always undermined by a system, even when it moves nearby. So to have one go directly over it, I can only imagine what the situation with that road is. Let's get back into our broadcast headquarters into Atlanta with Maria LaRosa. Good morning again, Maria.
Good morning, Sam. And one thing that we love to do here at the Weather Channel is kind of paint a picture of what the weather is doing. And one of the most spectacular, beautiful ways to do that is to show you the wind stream when you're talking about a tropical system, because you see the spin here. By the way, this is courtesy of nullschool.net, and you see the accelerating winds on the east side. It tends to be the stronger side of a tropical system. Meanwhile, on the east side, you have those winds coming out of the north and northwest. It's been a lovely day, a nice breeze in parts of the southeast that's led to a nice afternoon. But then again, you still have that powerful push of the water here as those winds are now on the east side pushing off from the south. So this is still a very powerful system, and as Dr. Greg Postel will tell us too, it is still a Category 2 as of the last update, correct?
Maria, that's exactly right. We still have a Category 2 hurricane. That's the latest advisory from the Hurricane Center. It's about 100 miles to the east of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Let's have a look at the stats now from the Hurricane Center. One of the points that I want to make here is that it is moving rapidly off to the northeast at 21 miles per hour. So it is moving away from the coast quickly, and the weather conditions will improve rapidly over the next few hours. Let's have a look at some of the radars, though. Just a little bit up to the beach there, you can see that even in Cape May, New Jersey, we're getting some rain showers. The eastern shore of Maryland, Wallops Island, Virginia, getting a 16-mile-per-hour wind out of the north, but the winds are rapidly coming down there on the Carolina and southern Virginia coast there. Here's the rain up in Atlantic City. You can see Cape May, New Jersey, getting some rain and some gusty winds out of the north. Not really a nice beach day, at least for now, but I think that too will improve even there as we move through the early afternoon hours. What you can see is rapidly moving Arthur out to sea, but by 4 o'clock, probably still some clouds hanging along the beaches, a high rip current risk. That's an important point here, but the weather will be improving later on this afternoon with an offshore wind. Not so, however, on eastern Massachusetts, eastern Cape Cod, Nantucket, may be in for some tropical storm force conditions tonight, and then tomorrow everybody, even up in eastern New England, down East Maine, will improve rapidly during the day tomorrow. Tropical storm warnings are in place for Cape Cod and parts of Nantucket, and here we can time it out for you what the weather's going to be like up there in Nantucket. With a northeast wind sustained at 47 miles per hour, gusts perhaps 20 miles per hour over that. So this is a big deal, guys. Tropical storm force conditions will be in place tonight across far eastern New England. As you can take the cone all the way out, there goes Arthur, and we can put it finally to bed. Maria, back to you.
And that's why we always look beyond the cone too, because there are those outlying effects. Take, for example, in New York, maybe not enjoying those waves today. Beautiful day in Jones Beach in New York yesterday, but a very different scene today. We do have that high rip current risk. It's an alert that's in effect right now. We do expect those wave heights to be building 4 to 6 feet, and that is not going to be good for swimming. That is not going to be good for boating, and it's going to get gustier as the morning goes on. We've already seen gusts to 20 miles per hour at LaGuardia, so we're kind of expecting some delays at the airports at that point. But as of right now, so far so good as the morning traffic wakes up and kind of gets underway. But there you have Arthur. Here you have the cold front, and so obviously you've got a lot of things working against a perfect day here in the Northeast. And winds definitely are concerned. Not only is it driving the waves and driving that high rip current risk along the beaches, but those winds could be a problem problem for fireworks later today. We've been kind of emphasizing by about fireworks time, you still have winds 20 to 25 miles per hour, and depending on the fire marshal, the safety officials, that may be enough for them to nix any displays because it's just not safe for the spectators. So for New York, planning your day, it's going to be breezy, not terribly clear right away. You've got 74 degrees by 5 o'clock and 7 p.m. Maybe a spotty shower. We can't quite rule it out, but thunder is really not what we're concerned about here. For Philadelphia, if you're heading down to the riverfront, you've got some sunshine here by later on this evening. Winds may not be as much of a factor, but could still be a little bit gusty. And then certainly in D.C., maybe the best of the I-95 big cities here. Winds should be a lot calmer, and that sun is coming out. We'll be back after your look on the 8s.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Independence Day, plentiful sunshine. High 82, winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear, near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
From safety to fuel economy to quality, today's Chevrolet has it all. And it's a great time to buy. During the Chevy 72-hour sale, you'll get 0% APR for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for the rest of the summer. 0% APR for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for the rest of the summer. Hurry, the Chevy 72-hour sale ends Monday. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Bridgestone's new Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and go up to 50 miles.
We can drive 50 miles on a flat, and you have an app that makes nails pop up?
Yep.
We could rule the world. But I've got carpool at 3, though, so
that time.
We could, mess with the world.
50 miles on a flat. Because if your tires keep rolling, your day does, too. And there's no better place to get your Bridgestone Drive Guard tires than Firestone Complete Auto Care.
We're the names you know in the places you want to be, where you can explore super destinations and do everything under the sun. 12 brands, more hotels than anyone else in the world. Save up to 25% and earn bonus points when you book at WyndhamRewards.com.
Really? So our business can be on AT&T's network for $175 a month?
Yep, all 5 of you for $175.
Our clients need a lot of attention.
There's unlimited talk and text.
We're working deals all day.
You get 10 gigabytes of data to share.
What about expansion potential?
Add a line anytime for $15 a month.
Low dues, great terms.
Let's close.
Introducing AT&T Mobile Share Value Plans with our best ever pricing for business.
Let's go Emerald Coasting. Visit Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Okaloosa Island, the heart of Florida's Emerald Coast.
If your road trip stops at the corner of taking in the scenery and, hey, they're taking our stuff, no need to panic. Walgreens has over 8,000 stores across the country with all your prescriptions on file and just about anything else you might need along the way. Because you never know what the road will bring. Find your nearest Walgreens anywhere, anytime. Just download the app and you're on your way. Here at the corner of happy and healthy.
Sonic has like every slush flavor someone could ever want.
That's right. This is basically slush headquarters.
Where sour blue raspberry plans world domination.
What?
Get colorful with new Sonic slushes, now available with Nerds Candy. This is how you Sonic.
Defiance is in our bones. Defiance never grows old. Citracal Maximum, calcium citrate plus D. Highly soluble, easily absorbed.
for July 4th savings. Get 15% off all full-size Master Forge gas grills at Lowe's.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
Just about 18 minutes for the top of the hour. Take a look at these images coming in from Kill Devil Hills on the Outer Banks from the overnight. Wind from Arthur just absolutely lashing those dunes on the beach. Those gusts close to 100 miles per hour at times, blowing that rain. It bent the trees. Obviously whipping all those flags that are up for the 4th of July. Now, very, very similar scene on Hatteras Island. You can see all of that water just pouring in through the streets and that wind whipping the trees there too, kicking up the very, very high waves on the beach. Right now, emergency crews are out assessing the damage. And Sam, as the sun comes up, we're starting to get a clearer picture. And I just have to tell you, I don't know if you've seen it yet, Dave Malkoff has tweeted that he just witnessed the rescue of a woman who was giving birth in a car trapped by storm surge. It is an amazing story. What? Yes.
Oh, wow. Maria, no, I hadn't heard that at all, but thank goodness that somebody was able to get to her, because I can't imagine a more frightening situation to be in after a Category 2 hurricane moves through.
Yeah.
You're trapped in storm surge. There's nothing you can do.
He's in Nag's Head, and the video and the images he's been bringing from that area just covered in water. Another area that got hit hard was Oregon Inlet.
Yeah, and we actually, that's kind of the exit zone. Oregon Inlet is kind of where this thing, as a Category 2, had come in a little bit down and then came out again back into the Atlantic right around there. So quite a time. Mark Sutton is there for us. So Mark, can you hear us?
I can, yes.
All right, so kind of describe what it was like then and what it's like now. Give people an idea of what it was like to go through the evening there.
Well, it was like being in my own special effects movie. It was incredible, the sand, the rain, the wind, and then all of a sudden up at Oregon Inlet, it dropped off like somebody had turned off the power to the hurricane, and I was in the eye. And now it's a brand new day with gusty winds and birds flying around. And I went south to try to get back to Rodanthe. Jim Cantori is south of the Pea Island temporary bridge, which is now compromised because the road buckled in front of it. I sent him that picture, and of course he posted it on Twitter. It's going to be a little while before people can get in or out of the southern Outer Banks.
Yeah, it takes a while before that water does recede. What kind of damage have you seen, if any?
Well, the only significant damage that will impact the ability for people to come and go is right there at the inlet that Hurricane Irene cut, and they put up a temporary bridge. Yeah. The road on the north side of that bridge has buckled some. The concrete barriers are pushed across by the storm surge, and there's piping and whatnot on there, and it's going to take some time for that to be cleared up.
That's unbelievable. But of course, the power, we keep telling people the power of the water is even going to move things like that storm barriers through there.
And a Category 2, it's on the low end of the scale. But when you're in the eye wall, which is what he was in, the eye is the calm. That's the center. But the eye wall, that's where you have the worst winds.
Yeah. It's only happened a few times, as many storms as I've actually been out chasing, to find myself in the eye of the storm. Yeah, I thought we were going to get into it this morning, early this morning, but it just moved a little bit to the south of us. Incredible stories. Thank you, Mark, for sharing the experience with us. And Aridis, we have some new information and updates on the important numbers. I have seen no deaths in North Carolina from this storm. We've not been able to confirm it, but I have seen none come across. And that's very good news, if in fact that's true.
Yeah, that's true, Sam. We've been talking to emergency crews all across the counties that have declared state of emergency. So far, no major injuries or damage to report. Hurricane Arthur may be back out at sea now, but it's still having an impact along coastal North Carolina. Highway 12 points north, Dare County, cleared access there. Highway 12 points south toward Hatteras Island, where we find Jim Cantori, that is closed. Residents could be landlocked for quite a while and only have access to the mainland through the ferry, which is a good thing because the ferry is occupational at this moment. The Category 2 storm made landfall late last night. We'll know about the latest of its impact. Governor Pat McCrory will speak at 9:30 this morning in Raleigh. More than 24,000 people are still without power. The U.S. Coast Guard Station Hatteras saw a 3-foot rise in the water level as Arthur passed, and access to the island, as I said, is closed this morning. Right now, no major injuries to report in North Carolina. However, 2 men were hit by lightning in Georgia's Tybee Island. They're in the hospital this morning. We're told they are conscious and alert after the strike. Highway 12 reopens with limited access in Dare County. And Maria, a lot of people keeping their eyes on when they'll be able to get off that island.
And that is good news. We're happy to report to hear all those good numbers. But please, we don't want the rip currents to be the issue with this storm system. That is going to be a concern on all of the Northeast beaches. Meanwhile, Midwest down to the Southeast, enjoy a beautiful day today and tomorrow. We'll be right back.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm on it. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Kevin.
Thanks, Melinda.
I have blah blah insurance, so person, come help.
Hey, Grandma. Dad, look who it is.
I see who it is.
6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy.
You're not helping.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. There to help you anytime, anywhere, anyway. That's getting to a better state.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Independence Day, plentiful sunshine. High 82, winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear, near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And a real good dad, but weeds just make me rattlesnake mad. Well, Roundup has a sharp-shooting wand. I'm sending them weeds to the great beyond. Roundup. Yeah. No need to pump, just point and shoot. Hit them in the leaves and it kills to the root. Round fences, trees, even mulched beds, because the only good weed is a weed that's dead. Roundup. Yeah. Roundup. Yeah. With a one-touch wand.
New Coppertone Clearly Sheer sunscreens. Barely noticeable and face-friendly for beach, pool, and sunny days. Perfect, no matter what you're wearing.
It's so on.
Coppertone Clearly Sheer. It's on.
Let's try on a new coat. One that covers better, lasts longer, and protects us from the elements, inside and out. Let's go to the place with the best paint. Take it home for less. Then rock and roll. Let's do the one thing that changes everything. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, get $5 off cans and $20 off buckets of select paints and stains.
I often think how amazing it is that I am a business owner when I'm definitely not a business guy.
When you believe in something and you want to pursue your dreams, you just have to go for it.
I think owning your own business just makes you feel so much more successful.
We take pride in what we do, but being proud of it is a part of it as well.
So when I design stuff, when I market, it's definitely got to feel like me.
Vistaprint allowed me to create that vision that I had in my mind.
I was able to find a template, then just pop my logo into it.
Vistaprint had all the things that I really needed to be able to market my company.
Your business is your passion. Your marketing materials should reflect that. With Vistaprint, they will. So start putting your passion to work for you with 500 business cards starting at just $9.99. That's right, get 500 cards for just $9.99 when you enter promo code TV500 at Vistaprint.com.
I love my job.
Vistaprint.com.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
And we're glad you're with us this morning on AMHQ on this 4th of July, the aftermath of Hurricane Arthur, moving through a Category 2, moving through the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We have coverage and we have reporters fanned out all over the Outer Banks to make sure you get the information on what has happened to this area now that the storm has left. And an incredible story coming out of Manteo, North Carolina, of a woman just couldn't get across the bridge because the bridge was washed out in labor. Dave Malkoff picks up the story.
We've made it to the other side of the bridge that connects Manteo to Nags Head. Look at all this storm surge that is cutting off the bridge and cutting off access for a woman who's in labor in a car, and she needs to get to the other side desperately so she can have that baby. Let's talk to this officer up here. Hey.
Yeah.
Where is she?
Right in back in that truck right there.
She's right back here? Hey, you guys, is everything all right in there?
We're good.
Yeah, up front here. Just hang on with me here. Here. Whoop. Oh. Well, there she goes. This is I guess you'd call that a deuce and a half. That truck there, the National Guard, they're gonna take them over the storm surge with the baby. She's in labor right now. Thought she was in the ambulance. She's actually in this deuce and a half right now. Watch them go through the water here. Think about this. She's in labor. She's going through, all the pains of labor, and she's, having contractions. And look at that. Look at that. You do not want to cross that in any other vehicle but something that has those big wheels there. I hope she makes it to safety. I hope it all turns out well. But you know what? If it's a boy, they better name it Arthur. We are on the flooded bridge between Manteo and Nags Head. I'm Dave Malkoff, the Weather Channel. Back to you.
It's proof that life doesn't wait, not even for a category. To find out and make sure that the baby and the mom are okay. But this story, I mean, come on. Those first responders, the Coast Guard, these guys are out there taking care of every situation, and we just can't thank them enough for being here to help people.
It is just amazing, Sam. And, we're being told, it's by someone who has a knowledge that those are not the most comfortable trucks to ride in, and that the poor mother's getting bounced around a little bit, but hopefully you couldn't be in better hands. But what a story, my goodness. So we're still talking about Arthur. Obviously, where Sam is, it's still quite gusty, but we have brand new information in.
Yeah, we do. The advisory still says 100 miles per hour. This is the one from the Hurricane Center. It says 100-mile-per-hour storm moving rapidly away from the Carolina coast and Virginia coast at 21 miles per hour. But I was looking at some reconnaissance data that's coming in, and they're getting still flight-level winds, just to show you that just in the last 30 minutes or so, we've gotten some flight-level winds. That's presumably at about 10,000 feet. At 100 miles per hour still. But I also noticed they were measuring some of the surface winds too, and we're getting about 75 to 80 mile per hour surface winds. They haven't completely sampled the storm, but the idea is you take some fraction of the flight level winds and blend it with the surface estimates. All in all, I would not be surprised to see if this intensity comes down a little bit in the next update at 11 o'clock. We'll see.
So you say they're not quite through with their route. You got to peek at their route. So which way are they coming back? They'll come back up the east side?
Well, I'm not exactly sure which side they're going to come, but they're going to take some more passes through Arthur.
Okay.
And they're going to have a better sampling, a better understanding of what's really going on in the interior. But right now, it does look like that maybe it's not quite as strong as it was, say, 12 hours ago. That's good news. And you can see that even the storm surge values are coming down on the Outer Banks. They are now down at Oregon Inlet to 1.8 feet on the sound side surge that's coming in with the west wind there, with the center of circulation about 100 miles to the east of Virginia Beach. So that was up in between 2 and 4 feet. Now it's down less than 2 feet. So really things are improving meteorologically, weather-wise. and storm surge-wise. However, Maria, we have rain on the beaches.
You can see the green box there. Those are flash flood warnings for Sussex County in Delaware. So we've been watching that for several hours. That red and the orange has not changed very much. So the torrential rain that's coming down, they've already reported, 2-3 inches plus already. So that is going to keep on coming down.
Yeah, those are very heavy rain rates, and they're going to keep on rotating in for at least several more hours into the Maryland beaches and the Jersey Shore as well. And overall, you can see Arthur moving away in this animation and taking the bad weather with it. The winds will turn around to the west pretty quickly, and this area shaded in purple, those are the tropical storm force winds. So they're going to be long offshore the Jersey coast this evening, but they will scrape by parts of eastern New England, Nantucket, perhaps getting to eastern Cape Cod overnight tonight. So could be pretty nasty there along some of those areas, but even by tomorrow afternoon, because it's moving so quickly, conditions there will be much, much better than they are today.
But a couple points that you have brought up, despite the, the flow, it's still going to be gusty. That is still going to drive the waves, but also the rip current risk.
We're going to have a high rip current risk all the way really from Virginia up through southern New England. So be careful on the beaches today.
All right, Greg, thank you so much. And Sam, it's still quite gusty where you are, but watching those bands pull away, that's great for residents who are trying to get back there.
Absolutely great news, Maria. And as we watch that storm pull away from our coastline, we know there's many more places ahead for Arthur. And we'll cover them on AMHQ coming up.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under fair skies. Independence Day, plentiful sunshine. High 82, winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear, near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Good morning to you and happy 4th of July. Top of the hour. It is AMHQ Hour 3 and we are live in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Oh, that's not the only place. We're live all around the Outer Banks of North Carolina because that was the first landfall and the home overnight of Hurricane Arthur, a Category 2 hurricane, the first one of the season, the earliest to make a strike on the North Carolina coastline, and it is now a Category 1. There are so many stories to tell of Arthur's past and so many more stories to talk about where this storm is going. Good morning, Maria.
Good morning to you, Sam. And back here live at the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, we're taking all of that information in so that we can get it out to you. And that includes some of the amazing pictures that we continue to bring in here to the Weather Channel. Out where the biggest impact has been, the Outer Banks. We're taking a live look right now at Wrightsville Beach in North Carolina. That's the mainland. And as to, you can see in the Wilmington area, the clouds are still there. The surf is still up. Those waves coming in. Gray skies are lingering and a little gusty, but of course the core of the storm is out of there. Welcome to this special edition of AMHQ. I'm Maria LaRosa. Sam Champion is live in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Sam, good morning.
Good morning, and of course I'm joined by meteorologist Stephanie Abrams. We were here all night long watching this storm move through, but we're not the only ones on the beach and certainly not the only ones covering. We've got our team of storm chasers, meteorologists, reporters, experts all in the field. Of course, Anaritis Rodriguez will catch you up on the latest numbers and information you need to know about the past events of this storm, and of course we'll be covering the future track of this heavy. Speaking of that, the new update now drops it down to a Cat 1.
Feeling the effects of that front, it will become extra tropical too at some point, and that means that it's not completely tropical. When it meshes with that front, it loses some of those characteristics.
Right, and we'll lose a little bit of wind strength. But as this thing drives by the northern coast, I still believe that parts of the Cape are still in that cone for that area.
For sure. I mean, they absolutely are going to feel the effects, and everyone's going to feel the rip current because everyone's going to come out here. It's starting to be beautiful, get in the water, and that's when you could get in trouble.
It's one of the things that as you watch this storm go by, and you can see our sky starting to clear here, there won't be a lot of rain impact, a lot of cloud impact on a lot of very inland areas, but certainly you've got to be concerned about the wind in some coastal locations and that storm.
Yeah, and of course the big trough has picked this up and taken it out, but it left a lot of rain south of here, Rodanthe. That's where Jim Cantori has been riding out the storm.
All right. Hey, Jim, good morning. How are things looking there? Have you broken into clear skies yet?
Yeah, actually, Sam, it's kind of funny you asked that. Go ahead and pan up. Ryan will show everybody. I know you got to do a little iris tweaking right there, but there you go. Some blue coming our way right now, guys, and I'll tell you, it's pretty nice. So we'll even look out over Pamlico Sound to our west and see that coming on in. So some nice stuff coming our way here, guys, we think over the next few hours, and that'll at least put a smile on our faces. However, what Arthur has left behind is not going to put a smile on your face, especially if you're trying to get back to Hatteras Island. First of all, let's show the video here. This is from Mark Seth. He's been working with us from hurricanetrack.com. And you can see here, this is up by Pea Island here, right there at the temporary bridge. All right? Look at the tremendous erosion there and undermining of that road. So that's going to have to be fixed. That came from the ocean side, it looks like. There's the ocean to the left. On the right, the sound side, and unfortunately, major problems there. That is the only part that we know about. We got a chance to talk to the North Carolina Department of Transportation, and even they are very preliminary on what they've assessed so far. They saw our picture, Sam. They certainly know that there's work to be done there. There could be some problems down toward Avon as well. Again, North Carolina DOT is on it. The good news is they've pre-positioned equipment to help fix these problems as quickly as possible. Either way, it does not look like we are getting on or off the island anytime soon here today. Back to you.
All right, Jim Cantori, and one of the things we're counting on you, pretty typical. One of the things we're counting on you for, sir, a lot of people are going to want to see pictures from the area because they're not going to be able to get in if you can't get out. So, Jim, I know you'll be there all day long, and we'll have full coverage on the Weather Channel.
Okay, let's go now to our hurricane expert, Dr. Greg Postel. And Dr. Postel, this has been downgraded to a Category 1. So let's talk about the dynamics and how the front and also that hurricane are interacting with each other.
Yeah, Steph and Sam, that's exactly right. We're seeing sort of a reduction in sort of structure of the storm, and that has to do with some of the winds aloft that are coming in that are pretty strong. Those are associated with the frontal zones that move through from time to time, and there's one front that's picking it up right now, and it's tearing at the storm. So you can see we've lost a little bit of the structure of the eye. There's the center of circulation right in there. There is now a considerable amount of dry air. The dry air has gotten in there with the enhanced wind shear associated with that front. And with all that said, and the fact that the hurricane hunters have been in there and found flight level winds at about 100 miles per hour, and they only take a fraction of that to get the surface wind. And they also measured the surface wind and brought 75 mile per hour to 80 mile per hour winds with that. We end up with a 90 mile per hour storm right now. That's the official stat from the Hurricane Center. That's the estimate of how strong it is. Moving now northeast at 23 miles per hour, moving away from that part of the coast in parts of Virginia. The weather should be improving. Even in New Jersey, where it's raining like crazy right now, just south of Atlantic City over Cape May. A couple of more hours to go, and the weather should improve for you even there. Let's time it out for everybody as Arthur moves up the coast. Watch what happens that by, say, 3, 4, 5 o'clock this afternoon. Arthur's going to be a couple hundred miles off the beaches. We'll still have some cloudy skies and some offshore winds gusting over 20 miles per hour. But the weather should be rapidly improving from about Connecticut on southward. But overnight tonight, tropical storm force conditions will be in place there. But I want to point out that even though Arthur is moving away, guys, we are going to have a rip current risk up and down the beaches that is going to be pretty high, even though the weather is improving all the way up to the south shore of Long Island. And that rip current risk could make the beaches dangerous. Maria, back to you.
You know, sometimes you're kind of glad that may not be the perfect beach day on days like this, Greg, because that'll keep people out of the water, hopefully, right? Let's take a live look at New York City, where we're kind of in that in-between, where we've got the front coming and some of the moisture from Arthur. We've got the clouds right now. Some gusty winds. We've seen them as high as 20, 25 miles per hour at LaGuardia. That could be an issue later today, but as far as the rainfall, not so much happening right now in New York. It definitely is in southern Delaware here. Sussex County still under that flash flood warning. As much as 1 to 3, probably more inches of rainfall has fallen. And you can see over the last hour or so, the rain has not let up. So could be some dangerous driving conditions here. Obviously not good to be on the Delaware beaches or the Delaware Bay for that matter. But you can see there are the gusts here superimposed with the radar and the satellite picture. Gusts to 21 miles per hour in New York, gusts to 25 in Philadelphia. It's kind of amazing that we're not seeing big delays here at this point. That could be changing though. We'll keep an eye on it. Keep in mind with the wind forecast going through the day today, we still have them expected to go up into the midday and perhaps by fireworks time, which could be enough to shut down a show if they get to exceeding 20 miles per hour. So heads up in New York. Local on the 8's next.
Whether it's roaches in the vents or Indian meal moss in the pantry, I have everything from growth regulators to pheromone traps. They think they're going to get lucky, but their luck just ran out.
Wait! Prilosec's not made for immediate heartburn relief. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. Prilosec can take 24 hours. Zantac, no pill relieves heartburn faster.
All right, I'm going Klondike. Do you want anything?
No, I'm good. Yeah, I wouldn't want to spoil my dinner or anything.
Oh, yeah, I totally get that. Makes sense.
More ice cream, more summer fun. Walmart.
Hello. 3 grams daily of beta-glucan, a soluble fiber from whole grain oat foods like Cheerios, can help lower cholesterol. Thank you.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under fair skies. Independence Day, plentiful sunshine. High 82, winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear, near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Grilled meats. Smells so good. What's happening over there?
Corn! Oh, yeah, that's the X4 Platinum, the world's most social grill.
Social grill?
Did he just take a selfie?
Oh, yeah. Send photo.
Watch, she's gonna light it with an app. Oh, gas.
Yeah. Kebab, 1 serving.
Get off your gas and grill with Kingsford Charcoal.
Really? So our business can be on AT&T's network for $175 a month?
Yep, all 5 of you for $175.
Our clients need a lot of attention.
There's unlimited talk and text.
We're working deals all day.
You get 10 gigabytes of data to share.
What about expansion potential?
Add a line anytime for $15 a month.
Low dues, great terms.
Let's close.
Introducing AT&T Mobile Share Value Plans with our best ever pricing for business.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
Welcome back into AMHQ. We have new video in to us from Hatteras Island. You can see, obviously, the roads are flooded and there is some damage. This looks like a shed that has blown off while the streets are just inundated with the water. In fact, maybe as much as 5 feet of water. Highway 12 has reopened, but we do want to say with limited access to northern Dare County, but access to Hatteras Island is still closed. And that means, Sam, that those residents in Dare County allowed to go back in, while those to the south are going to be stopped if they're going to try and make it back.
Yeah, absolutely. Maria, we've still got, a lot of folks trying to figure out what the damage was from overnight. Now that the rain has definitely stopped, and we are occasionally getting some breaks in the clouds. So many people, as I look up and down the beach, there's an awful lot of people walking down here. The main concern, my main concern, not that they would walk on the beach. I think that's fine. We still got an awful lot of sand blowing, so it's a little uncomfortable. But just to get them to stay out of the water, and from my vantage point right here, there are not a lot of people in the water. I don't see anyone here. So please, if you're watching us on your Weather Channel, just stay out of the water for the day today. I know how tempting it is to go in there, but please don't. So speaking of folks on the beach, just to our south, our Reagan Medji is there. And Reagan, I'm imagining, because when I saw your shot earlier, you'd gotten into the sunshine and a little dry air before we did. So I bet a lot of people are out on the beach there.
There definitely are a lot of people out on the beach. I mean, if you just look around me, like people have their umbrellas up and what have you. Now, of course, the mayor, we were with him earlier this morning, about 3 o'clock in the morning. The big news here, no damage. That's a good thing. The other thing they were looking at is beach erosion. So I'm going to give you a little look at what exactly that beach erosion is. Here's my knee. I'm about 5'4". And that's basically what the erosion did, about almost like a 10-foot slope in certain areas, a little less than that. Now, the beach erosion is a big deal because they put $8.5 million of federal, state, and local contributions just to re-nourish the beach. Basically, that means to bring more sand from the inlet onto this beach to make it bigger. How much bigger? Well, in certain spots, either 75 feet or 100 feet. Of course, we have a little tyke in front of me just hanging out on the beach. Right here is the guard stand. This is pretty important for everybody to know. They've got 2 ATVs on the ground. They're going to be patrolling up and down the beach like they have been for several days. They're also going to have a jet ski in the water, and they're going to have about 2 or 3 or even 4 lifeguards on stand, ocean rescue. Why? Well, that's because of that strong rip current that's happening out here. Looks are deceiving. It is a beautiful day. It's wonderful. It's 4th of July holiday weekend. A lot of people are coming out here to Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, but that is going to be our main concern. The rip current is very strong, so weak swimmers could likely get sucked out. That's why you got a lot of lifeguards on stand. But right here in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, a beautiful day, and Outer Banks, this is coming to you. Back to you, Sam.
All right, thank you very much, Reagan. It was a long night for you, I know. We appreciate you being up and on the air all night long. Weather Channel full coverage last night, throughout the night, today, throughout the day, until this storm has cleared the U.S. coastline. You can get all the information you need on this storm and, of course, your 4th of July weather, not only online, but by watching the Weather Channel. Anaritis, I'm looking up some new information this morning, just trying to see what's happening. I see an awful lot of power outages, but one of the things I'm so happy not to see are any deaths in the state of North Carolina, because it was definitely a tough night last night. Good morning again, Anaritis.
Good morning, Sam. Those power outages, the numbers skyrocketing in the last 3 hours. We're expected to hear the latest update from North Carolina's governor around 9:30. So please stay with the Weather Channel. We're going to bring you those live remarks. In the meantime, emergency crews throughout coastal North Carolina are asking you to stay off the roads this morning so they can get out and better assess these conditions of the impact of Hurricane Arthur. If you do need to get out on the roads, do not drive through flooded areas. Remember, turn around, don't drown. More than 41,000 people right now are without power. That's up from about 19,000 at 7 o'clock this morning. But all curfews for the Outer Banks have been lifted. Water levels are high all along the North Carolina coast, so please be careful out there in Dare County. The Bonner Bridge needs to be inspected before it will open. And while there's no major damage on Highway 12, access to areas south near Hatteras Island is currently closed. We're going to continue to track Hurricane Arthur as it moves up to the northeast. Stay with us.
Come on. Sweeten any moment with soft, fruity, chewy Fruit Vines Bites from the Red Vines family. Introducing Fruit Vines Bites. Live on the sweet side with Fruit Vines.
Don't wait for awesome. Totino's Pizza Rolls get you there in just 60 seconds.
This is Jane. Her long day on set starts with shoulder pain and a choice.
Take 6 Tylenol a day, or just 2 Aleve for all-day relief.
Roll sound. Action.
Need new tires?
At Pep Boys, our Tires Made Easy process matches your vehicle with the tire that's just right for you. And right now at Pep Boys, when you buy 3 tires, you'll get the 4th free instantly. Trust the boys to get you there.
Ike. Andrew. Rita. Ivan. Sandy. Meet Chris. Jackie. Joe. Shannon. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
I often think how amazing it is that I am a business owner when I'm definitely not a business guy.
When you believe in something and you want to pursue your dreams, you just have to go for it.
I think owning your own business just makes you feel so much more successful.
We take pride in what we do, but being proud of it is a part of it as well.
So when I design stuff, when I market, it's definitely got to feel like me.
Vistaprint allowed me to create that vision that I had in my mind.
I was able to find a template, then just pop my logo into it.
Vistaprint had all the things that I really needed to be able to market my company.
Your business is your passion. Your marketing materials should reflect that. With Vistaprint, they will. So start putting your passion to work for you with 500 business cards starting at just $9.99. That's right, get 500 cards for just $9.99 when you enter promo code TV500 at Vistaprint.com.
I love my job.
Vistaprint.com.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by Lowe's, the place to save this 4th of July.
Kids are fed?
Kids are fed, homework is done, baths are taken.
I'm impressed. Looks like you've got everything under control.
We got it all under control here. We're all good, right, guys?
Yeah, we're all good here. Yep.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you.
Finally, a paint that's stain-resistant and scrubbable. Introducing new Valspar Reserve. Now get $10 to $40 off our best paint and stains.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under fair skies. Independence Day, plentiful sunshine. High 81. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies, near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Minutes past the hour, back here on AMHQ. Take a look at this. This is Arthur's impacts on the Waves, North Carolina, part of the Outer Banks. All of that blinding rain during the overnight. This happens to be where our Jim Cantore is this morning. Much calmer there, but unfortunately for folks in that area, they're watching from another location. You're not allowed back in through Hatteras Island. They are still having that ban on there, unfortunately. So we'll keep an eye on any of the damage reports that continue to come in here. Meanwhile, take a look at what Arthur looks like from space. This is sort of the first light view via NASA here of Arthur, and you can see the very defined swirl, those clouds fanning out all the way into the Chesapeake Bay, and of course that very definite eye there as the sun came up. Just a stunning shot. We love that shot because it tells us a lot about what's happening. Still bubbling and churning.
Yeah, you got some big
there.
Storms right around that eye. That's the eye wall, which has the strongest winds.
Right, and when that picture was taken. We know that the hurricane hunters were flying in and out of the storm, and we have kind of new data coming in.
We do, and that new data gave us a new advisory from the Hurricane Center, which has downgraded Arthur a little bit. We've got a 90-mile-per-hour storm now, Category 1. It was a Category 2, moving away from the coast at 23 miles per hour.
But kind of interesting, at the time they were saying they found at flight level 100-mile-per-hour winds, but obviously that's not translating to the ground. Is that, what do you think about that?
That's typical, and that's what we see. What they do is they take the flight level winds and they take some fraction of that, depending on the strength of the storm, and they blend that number with estimates of how strong the sea spray is blowing around, and they get basically a value for how strong the hurricane is. And in this case, they came up with a 90-mile-per-hour storm, and you can see that the flight level winds between 30 minutes and 60 minutes ago was about 100 miles per hour. They're flying it around at about 10,000 feet. So we can see now with all that data coming in that Arthur is at least slowly weakening, but still bringing some rain on the coast.
That's where we kind of have to have, like, you know, the air quotes weakening, because obviously you have that band that looks like it's coming right along the Jersey Shore. It's already produced flash flooding in southern Delaware. Yeah,
it has, and it's going to, that band is not moving very much, that band of red. That's very heavy rain with high rainfall rates. So the beaches are not going to be so nice for right now, and we're going to have some winds that are, you know, maybe 20 miles per hour that are going to be scraping the Jersey coast this afternoon. But later on tonight, really eastern New England, Nantucket, they may get a glancing blow of some tropical storm force winds as Arthur pulls out. But you know, with that wind sort of onshore still hanging on to the coast, or hanging close to the coast, we have a rip current threat today, which is going to bring a high rip current risk, even though Arthur's pulling out away and the conditions get better weather-wise. We're still going to have a rip current risk all the way up to the south shore of Long Island.
All right, we're going to keep that in mind, because Sam, we know that, you know, the weather story in North Carolina is still very much playing out, but obviously the East Coast all the way up into New England still in play.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Maria, I'm getting an awful lot of action on Twitter from folks all the way up the eastern seaboard just wondering how this impacts their weekend. And as you've just been describing, it's really all about rip current in a lot of locations. So we've got Mary Gephardt from the New Jersey Office of Emergency Management on the phone with us this morning. Mary, can you hear us? Good morning.
Yes, I can. Good morning.
Thank you so much for taking your time with us this morning. Let's talk quickly about what message you want to get out to people. I'm so glad that the Jersey Shore doesn't have to deal with a direct impact, but there certainly is an impact. Let's talk about it.
Well, we're relieved about that as well. What we'd like people to know for the weekend is today, as you just spoke about, we're going to see some of that rain and winds coming on already, and then that'll clear up, and the weekend's supposed to be quite nice. However, we want folks to be aware of those rip currents. Even though the weather may look like it's going to be a great beach day tomorrow and Sunday, you really have to be careful around that water. Please obey the flags and the signage and never swim on an unguarded beach.
Mary, I got to tell you, if you're looking for a job on the Weather Channel, I can get you on the air as a reporter. You just did a fantastic live shot. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that information.
I love the job I have. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. So you got the forecast right, Mary. It is a nice weekend, but you also, the most important thing is, these waters are not the waters that you know as you come down to the Jersey Shore or out on Long Island or any of the beaches. And if there's no lifeguard, do not even spend any time in the water. This is going to be chopped up and rough, and I want you to have a happy and safe 4th. We'll be right back with more AMHQ.
Want to celebrate the 4th without little uninvited guests? Stop by your neighborhood Ace to get Ortho Home Defense Max with Comfort Wand. Just $9.99 after $3 instant savings during our 4th of July event, happening now.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Listen up. I'm reworking the menu. Veggies, you're cool. Mayo, corn dogs, you are so out of here.
The complete balanced nutrition of great tasting Ensure. 24 vitamins and minerals, 9 grams of protein with 30% less sugars than before. Ensure, your #1 doctor recommended brand, now introduces Ensure Active. Muscle health, clear protein drink, and high protein. Targeted nutrition to feed your active life. Ensure, take life in.
Fact. Every time you take Advil liquid gels, you're taking the pain reliever that works faster on tough pain than extra-strength Tylenol. And not only faster, stronger, too. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil. Fact. Every time you take Advil, you're taking the medicine doctors recommend most for joint pain, more than the medicine in Aleve or Tylenol. The medicine in Advil is the #1 doctor recommendation for joint pain. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil.
Ugh, this dress.
New Coppertone Clearly Sheer sunscreens. Barely noticeable and face-friendly for beach, pool, and sunny days. Perfect, no matter what you're wearing.
It's so on.
Coppertone Clearly Sheer. It's on.
I'm a loving husband and a real good dad, but weeds just make me rattlesnake mad. Well, Roundup has a sharp-shooting wand. I'm sending them weeds to the great beyond. Roundup. Yeah. No need to pump, just point and shoot. Hit them in the leaves and it kills to the root. Ground fences, trees, even mulch beds, because the only good weed is a weed that's dead. Roundup. Yeah. Roundup. Yeah. With a one-touch wand.
Looks like the Garcias got a new car.
What'd they get?
I don't know.
Sure doesn't look like a Buick.
Buick. I'm outside. Where are you? I'm right here. I'm in the Buick. I don't see a Buick.
Take a fresh look at Buick. It just might surprise you.
Ooh, that's not a Buick. That's what I told him. Wow. This is nice. Oh, my.
Enjoy the dealer experience ranked highest by J.D. Power and get $1,250 Independence Day cash plus 0% financing for 60 months on the 2014 Enclave.
Check.
Uh-huh.
Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks.
All the goodness of milk, all the deliciousness of Hershey's syrup. Squeeze, stir, share.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under fair skies. Independence Day, plentiful sunshine. High 81, winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies, near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Good morning. Welcome back into the special hurricane edition of AMHQ. It's the bottom of the hour. I'm Maria LaRosa. Sam is live in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Good morning, Sam.
And good morning to you, Maria. Yeah, what a long night it has been. Category 2 hurricane it was when it made its first impact on the Outer Banks. Category 2 hurricane it was when it left the Outer Banks early this morning, that first landfall being just after 11 o'clock last night. Now a Category 1. Information is that about of the 60,000 residents that live in the Outer Banks, not many of them decided to leave. Most of them decided to stay. And everyone this morning is waking up wondering what's around them and what's left. So on your Weather Channel this morning, we're the network that has the live coverage. No one has more reporters out in this area to tell you what happened with Hurricane Arthur. And now we focus up the coastline. Where does this storm go? And we've got a lot of locations north of us keeping an eye on this storm as you look at the path and you see that it's going to make its way all the way up the eastern seaboard. So every beach along this storm needs to be keeping an eye on it. I'll tell you one person who always picks the right location in a hurricane to be where this hurricane is most impactful, where that storm will move across. And that's our Jim Cantori, and Jim did it again last night. Last night, Jim, somewhere near Rodanthe, you kind of rode out this storm right by where it made its initial impact and not too far away from where it left this area. You took a 6-foot storm surge, wind gusts up to about 100, 101 miles per hour. Good morning, Jim Cantori.
Yeah, what a wild ride, Sam. No question about it. We had quite a night.
You know, for me, yes, I've been through these, but for my crew, it was a first-time experience dealing with storm surge, dealing with 80-mile-per-hour winds, possibly even higher than that. Actually, I think we gusted to about 90 here. So it was a scary night. So, you know, you have to calm the people you're with, and my hat's off to my crew. Literally within an hour, they snapped out of it, and we got right back to work and put you guys on the air. All right, let's talk about what happened here. First of all, let me set this up. This is the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Let me take you up with this little quad camera here, and you can see all these cameras looking essentially at what is a very thin barrier island between the Atlantic Ocean and the Sound. All right, not much room here. And unfortunately, where this is in Rodanthe, you can see the tremendous amounts of sand here, which during many times in its history has been washed over. And the man who took these pictures, Mark Suddeth, joins me now on the telephone. Mark, let's talk about this. First of all, we knew we were going to get big-time sound flooding. You actually took off last night after being with us here. You went north. What did you find on your journey? And how fast did you see that water come up?
Well, the journey north was incredible. Very, very strong wind, rain, sand, blowing, you know, white knuckle experience, but all part of it. I've done it before, so I knew what I was doing. Then the eye went over me at Oregon Inlet. An amazing experience. Was able to hear crickets, and the wind dropped to like 5 to 10 miles per hour. Yes, no rain at all. It was really peaceful to be in the eye, the center of Arthur. And that's just kind of part of what draws me into it. And then the backside, and that surge came in from the Sound, and it came up fast. And I shot a video of it that looks like time-lapse, but it's not. It was real-time video. Very unnerving for people that have never been through it, I'm sure. But I knew what was coming, and that's why I still have a vehicle to ride home in.
And Mark, you have seen erosion problems up around the temporary bridge. I mean, how bad is that buckle? Is it a foot deep? Are there sections of the road missing? What's that like?
Well, there was no sections of the road missing, but there's a large depression where it buckled. The DOT camera and the pilings were washed away. There's piping that has been strewn across like giant tentacles. And it's really weird. When I first came across it, those concrete barriers were angled across the road, Highway 12, and I thought, oh, they've come out and they've already closed it off. I guess it's buckled. And then, sat there and I realized, well, there's nobody out here. That storm surge moved those concrete barriers. Right. That's incredible.
Mark, we appreciate your report and certainly working with you at hurricanetrack.com. We're going to have much more from you during this hurricane season. So, Sam, where we are at this point, we showed you the picture that Mark took. We know there's some problems, okay? So nobody's coming in or off of Cape Hatteras Island right now. The big question is how quick does North Carolina DOT get out there and assess the rest of Highway 12 all the way down to the southern tip of Hatteras Island. When we find that information out, or you do, we will pass it along to our viewers. Hopefully, my friend, it will be soon and we won't see problems like we have up there.
Yeah, I hope not, Jim, because when you hear how powerful that surge and that wind was to move those huge concrete barriers, and we can all picture what those look like. All right, Jim Cantori, thank you very much. Maria, let's get some new information on this storm and, of course, the forecast for everybody. I know you're in the headquarters in Atlanta with Dr. Greg Postel.
That's right, Sam. You know, we love looking at what the winds are doing because that's also going to be still a continuing story even as the rain part of Arthur moves well offshore and has started to do that. This is courtesy of nullschool.net. We put a few places on the map to kind of give you a relationship here geographically. You've got Washington, D.C. and Norfolk, and then you see the center. This is the wind stream, so you're looking at the flow of the wind around that center. What's interesting, places like Norfolk, you've gone through 4 wind shifts since midnight. So you started off with winds in the east, and they've come around to the west, and soon they'll be northwest here. I should say that gone to the northwest, and they'll be shifting to the west. And you can see that also tapping into some of that dry air, which we have dew points down in the southeast into the 50s. One story, of course, we'll continue to follow is breaking news now. We have the governor of North Carolina, Governor McCrory, set to speak about conditions now. Let's listen in.
Throughout the coast of North Carolina, there has been minimal damage, and right now we have people from throughout the world beginning again to enjoy North Carolina beaches. And that's exactly what we want. In fact, I've taken off my green emergency operations shirt and I've put on my beach shirt because I'm about to go down to Southport and participate in their wonderful 4th of July parade. But this is good news. I'm very proud of North Carolina safety team for taking a measured response to the threat that we were presented. We are glad that the public took our warnings, and because of that, I think we've reduced the negative impact of Hurricane Arthur. We do have power outages in Ocracoke Island and especially the Morehead City area right now, approximately 44,000 people without power, mostly in Morehead City and some of the outlying islands as you go up the coast, Hatteras Island and others. We are seeing some beach erosion. There are shingles off some houses. We have some dock debris. My Secretary of Administration just called me. His dock was partially destroyed, but he feels good. He feels good. He's going to enjoy the 4th of July on Atlantic Beach today. We are seeing some artificial reef debris coming on several beaches, and we're also seeing some downed trees inland at this point in time. Right now, the winds are too high and the seas are too rough to put a boat in the turbulent Oregon Inlet to do a sonar scan on the Bonner Bridge. So we have not determined yet if the Bonner Bridge is safe. As conditions improve, the team will do that scan. Our goal is to have the Bonner Bridge and Highway 12 open by late tomorrow. I have just watched a live video of Highway 12. We do have some flooding on Highway 12 right now, and we do have some sand covering parts of Highway 12, which is not atypical.
And you are listening to Governor Pat McCrory of North Carolina, and Anaritis, he's thanking residents for heeding the warnings because so far so good for major problems.
That's right. Still 44,000 people without power. Conditions are getting better, and we'll bring you the latest updates throughout the day.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under fair skies. Independence Day, plentiful sunshine. High 81, winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies, near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
So, have you heard about this new Lancaster? Buttery rich, smooth, and surprisingly soft creams. So you give one a try, and wow. It's new Lancaster. It's caramel reimagined.
After 50 years of designing cars for crash survival, Subaru has developed our most revolutionary feature yet. A car that can see trouble and stop itself to avoid it. When the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety tested front crash prevention, nobody beat Subaru models with eyesight. Not Honda, not Ford, or any other brand. Subaru Eyesight, an extra set of eyes every time you drive.
People all over the world know us, but they don't yet know we're a family. We're right where you need us. At the next job, next adventure, or at the next exit. Helping you explore super destinations and do everything under the sun. 12 brands, more hotels than anyone else in the world. So wherever you want to be, whatever you want to do, chances are we're already there. Save up to 25% and earn bonus points when you book at WyndhamRewards.com.
Surely a vacuum shouldn't just work on carpets. Well, the Dyson DC65 cleans better than any other vacuum across hard floors and carpets. Works for me.
You pay your auto insurance premium every month on the dot. You're like the poster child for paying on time. And then one day, you tap the bumper of a station wagon. No big deal until your insurance company jacks up your rates. you freak out. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Hey, insurance companies, newsflash. Nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
It's hot.
Honey, we agreed we'd save money on cooling.
Maybe I'll put on short shorts like that girl outside.
There's a better way. Mitsubishi Electric Systems give you the temperature you want in any room with no ductwork and lower energy bills. Mitsubishi Electric Cooling and Heating. Live better. Go to MitsubishiComfort.com.
Wait! Prilosec's not made for immediate heartburn relief.
Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. Prilosec can take 24 hours. Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Let's unplug the past. Let's say goodbye to those. And hello to whoa. Let's find a better way to cook this. Wash that. Compare those and save these. Because you can make dinner. Or you can make dinner a breeze. Are you ready? Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, this Whirlpool washer dryer, just $349 each.
Cooper engineers its tires not just for performance, but real life performance. So before you get in, get going. Get gone. You need to get a tire that gets you, because life's a road trip. Come on, let's go. Buy 4 qualifying Cooper tires and get up to a $70 prepaid card by mail. See retailer for details.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
Welcome back into MHQ, 18 minutes for the top of the hour. We continue to get all these images in from the Outer Banks as the Hurricane Arthur made landfall. This is from Kill Devil Hills in the Outer Banks. And you can see the lashing of the dunes, all that they took last night. Those strong wind gusts, in some cases close to 90, 100 miles per hour, was enough to bend trees. And we just heard from North Carolina's Governor McCrory that there were even some trees inland that came down because of those winds. Now, we did have a very similar scene on Hatteras Island, and you can see all of that water just pouring on into the streets. The wind was whipping as well. Obviously, the beaches took a beating. Right now, emergency crews are out assessing the damage, but also, Sam, we did again hear from the governor of North Carolina that it is still too rough in Oregon Inlet to check the structural soundness of Bonner Bridge, so we still have a little bit to go here.
Yeah, Maria, I'm getting a lot of action on Twitter, and folks are asking, when are we going to see some pictures coming out of other areas along the Outer Banks? And so it's a perfect time to address that. We are set up better than any other network to give you those images, but it's difficult to move around the Outer Banks this morning. There are still so many areas that have some standing water on the street, because remember, we had that wind come in as this storm exited and come across the Sound and drive water over a lot of roads. So Ron Blom is out trying to find some of those roads, whether they're passable or not, and here's what he's found so far. Ron?
It was on the Sound side of the Outer Banks that most of the flooding took place, with all those winds pushing in. You can see this area back here is pretty much inaccessible unless you have a very high stepped up pickup truck that can make its way through. The sheriff's deputies have closed it to normal traffic. We understand there's some neighborhood flooding over there. The story on the other side of the Sound is also a problem. In Manteo, there's some flooding in the low-lying areas. We'll be taking a look at that later on today.
All right, Ron, so that's exactly, folks, what we're encountering. We're trying to get out there, give you those pictures, and we will do that as we get into the day today. Remember, full coverage again today, live all day on your Weather Channel. Maria, you're getting some information from people who are tweeting their pictures to us, so let's get them on the air.
Sam, we always appreciate it because, we look at the radar and the satellite picture, but we want to see what's happening below the clouds, below that radar, and these pictures really help us tell the story, continue to tell the story. Certainly one shot of some very rough surface surf here. This is coming out of Virginia, and at Jersey Janie sending us this picture out of Virginia Beach. Obviously, hashtag not a beach day, and we can appreciate that. And this coming out of North Carolina at OBX Parasail, looking at Nags Head and the causeway there. There have been some issues in Nags Head, but it is further south that we're seeing a lot of the real travel troubles. And this one also out of North Carolina area and Nags Head, and where it says the ocean is downright mad this morning as Arthur makes his way through the Nags Head area. So we've had obviously a lot of pictures of some rough surf, and likely we'll see those kind of pictures continue up the eastern seaboard as Arthur pulls out to sea. But we do want to get some of the information that we've gotten into our news center. So here's Anna Rittis with the latest.
Good morning, Maria. Now, Arthur may have been downgraded to a Category 1 storm, but crews are starting to get a look at what the damage is this morning. A warning about not driving in floodwaters from emergency crews. They say stay away from flooded roadways, and remember, turn around, don't drown. We just heard from North Carolina's governor, and he's saying that 44,000 people are still without power at this hour. Maria, that was in Morehead City, many of them. Ocracoke Island also without power. They say it may be until Sunday until they can get power restored there. The U.S. Coast Guard station Hatteras saw a 3-foot rise in the water level as Arthur passed, and access to the inland is still closed this morning. Right now, no reports of injuries in North Carolina. However, 2 men were hit by lightning on Georgia's Tybee Island. They're in the hospital. We're told that they're conscious and alert after their strike. Thankfully, Highway 12 remains with limited access in Dare County, North Carolina. So you're able to get to points north of the Outer Banks, but points south, Maria, where we find Jim Cantori, right, it's still inaccessible.
And we're also hearing some damage reports inland. You know, we're focusing a lot on those barrier islands, but obviously wind is going to be an issue even as that storm pulls off to the north and east. So that is going to be a concern going forward. And you can see the wind stream map showing those winds still quite gusty here, now impacting parts of the Virginia beaches and on up through the Chesapeake Bay and also the East Coast beaches as well. Big concern going forward too, the rip current risk. So even if the skies are clear after the storm from North Carolina and on up and through, say, the Jersey Shore, Long Island beaches, that is still going to be some rough surf. So you want to get out in the water, but please do find emergency responders a favor here and don't make them work any harder than they have to. Stay safe on this 4th of July. Of course, we're going to keep you ahead of everything you need to know to plan the rest of your day, including what's left of Hurricane Arthur. Next.
This is Mike. His long race day starts with back pain and a choice.
Take 4 Advil in a day, which is to relieve for all-day relief.
Searching with devotion for a snack that isn't lame, but this takes my breath away.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under fair skies. Independence Day, plentiful sunshine. High 81. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies, near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Yeah, I'm married. Does it matter? You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis?
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so.
Another reason more people stay with State Farm. Get to a better state.
freshening, cooling crystals. Icebreakers.
Hurry in for savings. Get 10 to 30% off major appliances $3.99 or more, plus 18 months special financing through July 7th at Lowe's.
There once was a hungry road that ate up tires, wearing down tread and wearing out safety. Then along came the Michelin Man, who got drivers back on the road with safety that lasts. Find your tire at michelinman.com. Michelin, a better way forward.
I've always seen No-No on TV, and I always wondered if it worked. And it definitely, I can see what everybody talks about now.
It's not a razor. It's not a laser. It's No-No from Radiancy. No-No gives you no hair with no pain.
There's absolutely no pain.
Can't believe the difference, Al. It's almost hair-free.
And now, No-No is better than ever. Introducing the new No-No Pro. It's up to 35% more powerful. Imagine never having to shave again.
I like a close shave.
Absolutely.
And this is better than that. I mean, it's gone.
And there's a No-No for him, too.
It looks like just like you've got a fresh wax, but like you don't have to go through all the pain.
Call now, and we'll send you everything you need to get rid of your unwanted hair. Try No-No for 60 days. If you don't love it, return it, and we'll refund the purchase price, refund the shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try No-No risk-free today.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
Welcome back to AM. Welcome back to AMHQ. We're live on the beach at Kill Devil Hill. We've got a little break of the sunshine here. Stephanie Abrams.
You can tell it's getting better because Sam has taken off all of his gear. But we're going to keep it there, right? We're going to keep it PG for all the families watching.
We're going to stop right here because it's not the right day to swim. All right, let's get in. Because we're at 50 after, let's get into our tropical update with Dr. Greg Postella.
All right, guys. Yeah, absolutely. You know, we still have the gusty winds you saw from that live shot. Stephanie's jacket blowing in the wind. But obviously, it is still a force to be reckoned with. We're starting to get that data coming in from the hurricane hunters, and it's still a Category 1.
It is a 90-mile-per-hour Category 1 hurricane moving rapidly away from mid-Atlantic. That's good news. You saw the weather was much better where they are, but still raining along the Jersey coast. Let's have a look at the latest advisory from the Hurricane Center. There is a 90-mile-per-hour storm moving northeast at 23. We'll get the next advisory in, I think, within the next hour or so. And you can see the center circulation here sort of degrading in integrity a little bit. We've lost some of the structure of the eye, and some dry air has actually gotten in near the core. So that's good news. We're seeing it weakening and moving it away. That's all everybody wants to see.
You know, we've been tracking that front too, coming through the northeast. Do you think that's kind of also, you know, shearing it out, kind of being a player in its weakening?
I think you're exactly right, because if you look at the water vapor imagery, which kind of shows us the motions of the atmosphere pretty high up, gives you the steering currents. And what we can see is there's a lot of dry air coming in from the west and a steering flow that's shaped like that. So you get the sense that Arthur is getting picked up by these steering currents and is being now pushed away by a jet stream that's moved in from the west.
What I love about this picture, it really shows the liquidness of, if you will, of the atmosphere. And basically a tropical system is just a big, denser liquid being picked up within the flow.
I guess one simple way to think of it maybe is like a cork in a stream, although it's not just like that because it's actually interacting with its surroundings as well.
Maybe like Jell-O. If the cork were made of Jell-O, now we're getting a little...
Are you hungry?
I am. I'm hungry.
Let's have a look at the rain now on the Jersey coast, because you and I are both from Jersey.
That's right, yes.
And we can talk about our home state here, where we have some rain now moving in from the east. Atlantic City, Maria, you were talking about this rain band that is still lurking just offshore, bringing some heavy rain. But, you know, with Arthur moving away so quickly, I don't think it's going to be more than a couple hours before the rain is gone.
And that's good news, because we have the Garden State Parkway, the Atlantic City Expressway, all big routes to the shore, which I'm sure people are going to try and get to today.
Yeah, now let's talk about winds, because as the weather improves, the wind, not so much of a factor in terms of like blowing things around, but it's going to make enough of a problem on the beaches to bring some rip currents. So what you see by this evening is the tropical storm force winds here shaded in pink. They're a long way from the beaches, getting close to and perhaps scraping Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket and eastern Cape Cod. But really the story is not so much the wind as we move through today. Even in eastern New England, it's more the rip currents that we have to watch out for. I've got a graphic for that to show you where the rip current threats are today and how high they're going to be.
And that is really a big concern for us, because, you know, sometimes people think, you know, you see the sun out, we can go in the water now. now. We just want everyone to exercise a lot of caution.
Yeah,
it is. Be smart out there.
The weather's kind of seductive that way. It'll kind of lure you back when it's not quite safe yet. So look at, we have a high rip current threat from Ocean City up through Atlantic City, New York, South Shore, Long Island, Jones Beach, Hampton Bays, and even farther north from there, we have a rip current threat, a moderate level here of Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard and eastern Cape Cod as well.
I'm just going to put you on the spot real quick. Tomorrow, any influence at this point when you comes to winds and surf, or is the influence just kind of pulled out of there?
By this time tomorrow, down East Maine will still be dealing with some rain showers and some gusty winds, but we'll have some rip current still on the beaches in northern New England.
Gotcha. All right, Dr. Greg, thank you so much. When I send it back over to Sam Champion in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Sam.
Where is he? Oh, there he is.
All right, I'm standing here with Stephanie Abrams, and you know, there are some folks who decided to stay open throughout this storm. You actually ran across one of the places when you were coming in.
Yes, Awful Arthur's, which is right down the street, and on their marquee sign, it says, "Scram Arthur, we have the name first." And this blew up on my social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of it. People love this sign, and we have the owner of Awful Arthur's.
So Joe Whitehead is on the phone with us this morning. Good morning, Joe. How are you?
I'm great. We weathered the storm. Arthur's come and gone.
All right, you certainly did. Now tell me, throughout the night, were there moments where you thought, hey, maybe we shouldn't have done this, maybe we shouldn't have stayed open?
Oh, no. It was, everybody was able to stay open. We didn't get, the highest winds and all. Everybody had been closed for a while when that came through, so everybody was able to do it normal. On this end of the beach,
how many
anyway.
people were there?
Well,
how many people were there? Stephanie wanted to know.
What, in my restaurant?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm extremely anxious to see the numbers for yesterday because we had a really busy day. People want to, of course, get pictures of the sign and coming in the restaurant, and which is an extremely busy day for us as usual anyway on this time of year. But we had an extremely busy day and right in through dinner last night.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't closed the beach.
You know that Stephanie took a picture of your sign and made a big deal of it on Twitter. Had you heard that yet, Joe?
Yeah, oh yes, I did. Thank you for that, Stephanie.
Next time we're coming to get oysters, Joe. Yeah. Thank you so much.
We're coming. There is much more ahead. Thank you, Joe, by the way. There is much more ahead right here on your Weather Channel. This is AMHQ signing out. Wake Up with Al goes on live. Have an amazing day. Stephanie, thank you so much for your help. Good luck with the rest of the morning.
Currently in our area, 73 degrees under fair skies. Independence Day, plentiful sunshine. High 81, winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies, near record low temperatures, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Hurricane Arthur is losing steam finally, down now to a Category 1, getting caught up in our front that is taking it out to sea. You are watching Wake Up with Al. Good morning to you. And the storm is far from over, even though it is starting to lose some of its strength. We are tracking the impacts up the entire East Coast, plus the aftermath, where it's been. Landfall on the Carolina coast in the wee morning hours. Coastal flooding, impassable roads, driving winds. Team coverage on the Weather Channel starts right here, right now on Wake Up with Al. And happy July 4th. It is Friday here on Wake Up with Al, and we are tracking Hurricane Arthur this morning. Things are getting much better here on the Carolina coast.